Hello and welcome to Garby Games. We're playing Star Trek Morpheus.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Star Trek Morpheus, the Garby Games Star Trek Adventures show. I'm Pete, and in a minute we'll go round and everyone will tell you who they are, who they're playing and what they're doing here. But before we do, please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We have a very active Discord community which is growing all the time and lots of conversations going on there. If you are watching this on YouTube, please go and check out our podcast. And if you're listening on the podcast, please go check out YouTube. We also have a Patreon. Everyone who supports us helps us to make it a bit better for everybody else. From all the kit and equipment we have to the games that we play, we are creating maps, turning those into adventures, and then sometimes playing them on the show and giving them away to our patrons. So thank you everyone who supports us. Please do go and check that out and consider supporting the channel. Links are below. We also have things on Redbubble, such as some nice cups, and Drive-Thru RPG. I generally tend to put up everything from the Patreon on Drive-Thru RPG as well. So you can get stuff there if you don't want to be a patron on a monthly subscription. Also go and check out our other shows. We've got Flint and Steel, and we've got Vostok's Chance, our Scion RPG show. We've got Masters of Monsters at Samran. And some other stuff on there as well. We've got some playthroughs, we've got Escape the Dark Castle, all kinds of things. So go check that out somewhere all around here. Yeah, but anyway, without any further ado, I shall pass over.
Right, well, I'm Adam and I'm running this game of Star Trek Morpheus, Star Trek Adventures and in the future.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm playing Dr. Vasha Kren, this ship's chief medical officer.
Hello, I'm Keith. I'm playing Captain Sobel's something.
The Vayak.
Thank you. Captain of the USS Enterprise. Gee.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm playing Zelvok, the Vulcan security officer and second in command.
And I'm Pete, and I'm playing Griot Tovon, Lieutenant Commander Griot Tovon, who's the Cardassian science officer. Mm-hmm. That's his rank. That's his official title, the Cardassian science officer.
The only one.
Well, then it's a Cardassian science officer, or it's a Cardassian science.
Yeah, both.
Right, so yes, last week we did some fun little adventures on a colony called Lacuna. A very active science colony with very in-depth scanning that had got to the stage where they were scanning everything. Everything that was happening on the colony, including everyone's sort of emotions and just saying some minor thoughts, and could predict a little bit what was happening. However, someone had messed with their scanning so that it was scanning people even that hadn't consented. And yes...
Data protection.
Yes, exactly. And yes, our heroic team beamed down and were trying to sort out the situation. And they just found that it looked like the programmer that had messed with it...
Dean John.
Indeed. The young Kardashian computer programmer had Jeet, the one that had caused it to be unable to be turned off, and that it was scanning everyone. And if someone did try to deactivate it, the security satellites that were held in salvos underneath the planet would destroy the whole large storage of core of 40 years of scientific data that the Lacuna Colony had acquired.
And it's like super data, isn't it?
There's yes, lots and lots of data.
Because it's all dark.
Yes, yes. The Lacuna Colony is based inside a nebula that allows no light, electromagnetic radiation, or subspace radiation into it. So it's great for measuring like those background constants and to a certain extent certain gravimetric
waves. If those security satellites do go off and they do destroy this information, is there a risk of life? Is the stuff buried underground?
Well. You didn't think so.
We didn't think
so until the end, when...
But then...
we found out, talking to her...
Someone was going to come and tell the captain about it.
Oh, they just had.
On the...
Yes.
Yes, that's why it ended with the...
Yeah.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden it's my problem.
Yes, it's because someone has meddled with it.
It's for the captain.
Pass it off to the captain.
It was great, because I was sitting listening to you guys dealing with this, and like, we should tell the captain. I'm just like... Oh.
But you're the captain, you know.
It's the whole, not my circus, not my monkeys. Oh wait, is my circus, is my monkeys.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely your circus, and we are indeed your monkeys.
But first,
I want to
bookkeeping,
circus.
or at least a certain level thereof. So, we had a certain amount of momentum and a certain amount of threat. We had 4 threat, which can be used to a certain extent against the characters, and you had
6 momentum?
4 momentum. Actually, I had 5 threat and 4 momentum. I had that wrong.
4 momentum.
Indeed. And that goes away, one with each scene in any case, which you get from successful rolls if you remember. So you have 4 momentum currently thing. And also, the advanced system I'm going to be a bit more generous than the book would generally be. And say that, so most of the way you advance the character is to do with milestones and complicated things, like I was judging all of that. And also it's quite rare that stuff changes. What?
He's going poop as he puts things on there. Yes, because we all have these the sheets, you see,
Yes.
for the viewers. The sheets look like Star Trek screens.
Yeah.
And so we're making noises when we press them because we're 10, basically.
Yeah.
Official Modiphius products.
But we are, so that's all right.
They're lovely
maybe-
roll summaries, though.
Maybe as a background noise, we can have that kind of like bridge ambience effect.
The
going.
copyright sound
humming
effects of Star Trek.
It's fine, we're on holographic shit, we don't have that anymore.
Right. Well, they don't make noises. The dashboards don't.
Oh no,
make
sorry,
noises.
wrong franchise.
Man, I will. Really?
I'm certain
Have you-
that
have
these
you-
make noises.
Have you done it so the dashboards don't make any noise? The class displays don't make a noise when
No,
you
the
touch them.
LCAR's displays can make noises, but that background hum that you used to get in the next gen.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. I mean,
Do the doors make a noise when they open? Good. Right, then we're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't be a starship if the fucking doors didn't make a
Yeah.
noise.
Now we have sorted the sound effects, how we want them.
Yeah. Very important for a Star Trek show.
Let us.
I hope you listeners out there on the podcast listeners will be especially appreciating that.
Yeah, all of these have been fully generated by the people here. None of them were artificially generated.
I know. They probably sounded like
Exactly.
super realistic.
Exactly.
Like you were in a Star Trek show.
every time we go through a door, you need to make the door noise.
No, in the future, because the holographic, they just sound a bit more annoyed.
Artificial doors, like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh dear.
It's been my pleasure to open for you.
Would you mind stepping through just one more time?
Anyway. Normally it's quite hard to change stuff on your character, and they don't really advance, they just tend to move stuff around, because you're already as good as you can be, because you're Starfleet officers.
Ah!
Exactly. There are rare occasions where stuff can go, but I might do that later, like once throughout the whole run, because it's supposed to be pretty rare, but I'm going to be pretty free on when you can move stuff around. So if you want to move like a tribute point around each session, that's fine, or a discipline point. They can only, tribute's going up to 12, discipline's going up to 5, or if you want to change a value. No, changing a value is a bit more different actually, but not changing a value, but changing a foci
Okay.
or other talent. That I'd also be fine with that, yeah, especially now early on, because obviously just getting to know the character. So if you're not unhappy with how everything is, I'm fine with you moving anything around now. Later on, I might ask for some if anyone suddenly changes and why.
A good reason for it.
Yeah, how the character's developed. But now
I've been in the hollow gym.
Exactly.
I put my daring up.
And I'll still be control in there, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you'd be moving your points around. So, yeah, how that would change, or yes, why your foci would change, or why talent might change. But if you want to do that, yeah, now, you feel free to do so. Just like I mentioned. And the same, I think, we'll do with the ship, but probably only between missions, not sort of just in sessions, I think.
Okay.
Because it makes more sense that you're sort of changing personnel on the ship or other things.
Yeah.
The ship could change a lot
Is
anyway.
the Enterprise a number of unnamed ensigns or possibly lieutenants will get killed in horrible ways?
Exactly.
Yeah.
New ones will come in. So, it might make sense to move some of the points around. But you've only got 3 points to replay around with on the ship. But we can worry about that between missions, because you're currently on this one.
Yes.
Yes. So, where do we want to start? So, if I remember correctly, you just were
I
talking...
stepped out of the building
Yeah.
and contacted the
Yeah.
captain
And you guys
said,
have been
And I
talking.
think I was.
dun dun dun.
I think I was going to stay with the crazy person, wasn't
Yes,
I?
you were.
So you could head back to the other two.
Well,
and start.
just purely first off, just to make the call and call the captain and to relay the information that actually it's wired to blow up the whole colony.
That wasn't her that did that.
So,
Someone else did it.
These two people in the conversation, Sam pointed out last week we hadn't really done physical descriptions, so if you want to describe what your character looks like, well, urgently...
My
comment in the
character
captain.
looks like he's got grey skin. He's got these kind of spoon-shaped thing on his forehead. He's got black hair. He looks like every Cardassian.
That might be the rare...
No, he's
blonde
he,
Cardassian.
no. He is actually quite thin. He's not particularly tall. There's nothing that remarkable about him. He's wearing a science officer uniform,
Has he got the same
which
hair?
has a wider cut
Yeah.
So how does that even work for a cut?
for the neck.
And we're still wearing the sort of grey with the undercolour.
Yeah. So I'm figuring they've just widened that upper thing, but the blue thing's a bit more stretchy around the neck, so it's kind of wedge shape there.
And they've probably changed it so that, because again, watching the episodes recently, the grey thing doesn't keep on going over the ranks insignia as it did like half the time whenever they sat down.
Yeah.
They only have to seem to design those uniforms for standing up. That's why you've got all the pulling
When
down.
you're doing your like heroic poses and looking at camera.
Has he got the same hair that all Kardashians seem to have as men? There's the sort of black hair that starts about here, goes to about here, and then stops.
Yeah, that kind of standard wig that they hang around
Exactly.
in the cast. They've got like 4 of them. No, he's actually got it quite short around the sides, which kind of overemphasises the kind of ridged and veiny nature of his temple areas.
How much stress do you have?
Too much. I know.
So short at the sides, long at the back.
Yeah, it's kind of mullety.
Yeah, I was going to say that does describe
It's
him.
a Cardassian.
Cardassian mullet.
Yeah, but it's that sweep back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
You
a
know.
shame it's not a mohawk.
No.
So it's more like an undercut.
Yes. A bit like an undercut around the sides.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what does the captain look like?
He is an Andorian. He probably looks like someone has painted Jeffrey Combs blue and stuck some antenna on him.
So you're 5'4".
No. I think I've got his height down here somewhere. I think he's like 6'2".
Okay.
2 antennae. Has got the vestigial third one in the middle.
Is that the thing?
Could be.
No.
That's hidden under the hair normally.
And he pops up when they're surprised.
Yeah.
His hair is silver, not white.
Oh.
Ah,
It's what?
Silver, not
white.
Ooh.
Cool. Nice. No scars or anything
Probably just somewhere.
on the body.
Surely
Do you
the-
carry
surely
around one of
the
those?
thermal regenerator would have taken care
It's
of
on the
that.
wall in his quarters.
Okay, right, cool.
Having seen those recently, did you want it to look like that, or we could sort of retcon it might look like anything like an actual ice pick? Because
I like the fight in Enterprise. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I know, but imagine trying to actually hack into ice with that. It'd be really awkward.
Yeah.
This is what bothers me. It's supposed to be like a ritual ice pick, and I'm like, well, that's very the ritual end of that.
The ice is different on Andorra.
Apparently.
I think that it's an ice pick. It was an ice pick a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they've said it's a ceremonial ice pick that they've slowly turned more into a punching dagger.
Yeah.
You know.
With serrated edges for catching on each other.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And I like the rope thing where they're attached to each other.
Oh, yeah, the gauntlet rope
That's
thing.
cool. Yeah.
that's-
That's really cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, because again, that makes a bit, to a certain extent, a bit more sense that you might hammer that into and hang off the ice before hacking away at it. But that, they're just, even though you're trying to hit ice with that. Anyway. But you don't carry that the entire time. You're not half gauntleted with the ice thing.
Yeah, turned up.
What if someone questions my orders? I just twirl the end. I was like, come on then.
Do we really have to go through this again?
I go through so many officers. That way.
Myth psych evaluation, I think that was doing for months.
Yeah, so I was just kind of... I'd walk down like an alley or something, you know, where there weren't too many power conduits to trip over.
Yeah.
But like between some of the prefabricated buildings, just to make a phone call basically with the captain.
Where were we? We were trying to do a lap of the main building, try and get in, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we discovered that if we got in, then
You were being continually monitored.
we were
weren't
being
you?
monitored. And somehow, between two very fractions of a second, someone had gone in, edited the controls to make it go boom,
Yep.
and got out again.
Well, that's what he found out, but I don't think you discovered this yet.
Oh, do you not tell me that?
I think you did.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much. I'll convey what I found out to you
Yes.
over the...
Yes, you did also still have Toc Lintier with you, but I think he just wandered off.
Lovely.
The old professor from
That's
the
fine.
university that was also visiting.
And also Cardassian.
Indeed.
And also cross.
From the new Lacuna.
Very much like,
He's a
oh, I
Cardassian.
don't want people monitoring me.
Yes, so you're also at this
No,
conversation.
you
What
need
does...
to be used to it.
Oh yeah, because it would just be like
Zelvok look?
hands-free, wouldn't it?
What does Devil look like?
Zelvok.
Zelvok, even. Athletic build, shaped scalp, quite a sharp hawk nose, but a distant kind of stare.
I assume he looks quite old because he's not a young...
Well, no,
Vulcan.
he's a Vulcan, so he's what, first 75-ish, it's more sort of middle age because like 200 years old.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Whereas I look like I'm in my 40s.
So, Captain, I'm not sure what you really want Kren and myself to do in this situation. I'm not sure. Do you want me to
Have
alert her to this so she might help us?
have Dr. Kren inform Deanne John
Yes.
Deanne John of this latest development and gauge her reaction. I want to see if she has any knowledge of this at all. And at least, if that is now the case, she knows that she will now be in peril with the rest of us and could perhaps undo what she has done in a manner that would allow us access so we can find out
What's the population again?
who has done,
25,000.
who has programmed this.
Mm.
And you're the science officer.
I am indeed, Captain.
I want you to find out how it would be possible for somebody to gain access for such a short period of time.
Yes, and manage to do all the things they need to do.
Some form of temporal manipulation, perhaps. Or have they erased the logs? And is that gap longer than it seems?
Yes, or manipulated the logs. I think temporal issues may be a bit far-fetched at this moment. I'll try the mundane things first, Captain.
Very good.
If we set the holographic ship for sort of evacuation mode, taking on a load of people, like not even giving them single rooms, but like, you know,
Bunks.
big hallways with bunks, how many people do we think we could get on board?
Probably. Let's see. I think
Even if just
I
the
keep
front
thinking
is
to do this particular version of the ship. It will definitely be a very slow, giant, clunky version of the.
Yeah,
That's
holographic
fine, we're
ship.
still in Federation territory, we're not
Um,
expected to get shot at
Much.
much.
But I reckon, let's see. So that's basically a scale bigger than any Federation ship has been ever
Yeah.
built, basically.
The biggest was what, Galaxy, and it could take 12,000
Round about that.
Yeah, I thought it was around 10, but yeah, something like that.
evacuation. Yeah.
Crammed in.
Yeah. So probably, you could probably take around 25,000.
Okay, that's good.
But it would be very, very packed. Like I say, the ship would be... You'd have to come up with a design. It probably has a mode.
The Cardassian's an old sort of freighter, isn't the ship? It's an old sort of
Well, no,
freighter,
actually, it's
isn't
an
it?
old... It's their main, like...
It's a
ship of the
Gallo
line.
class warship
Oh, right,
that's
okay.
been retrofitted as a university bus.
And repaired by students.
Yeah.
Maybe not put too
Their life
many
support
in-
systems probably couldn't
Yeah,
take
maybe
it.
not put too many in
It
there.
would... Yeah, but again, yes. The scans would suggest that it's probably not most...
Okay, let's...
It could definitely take some, probably a lot of the Kardashians, because our Kardashian citizens that are resident there. Like Deanne John. But yes, maybe. Yeah. It would take a while to reconfigure, but yeah. It has a mode for that.
What is the time limit? How long have we got?
There wasn't really a time limit.
There
It's if she tries to deactivate it, or if anyone tries to deactivate it. Basically, if anyone tries to deactivate it, even if she does, even though she thought she had an in, it will turn on. But other than that...
So
there isn't one.
I have
It's
another
not on
question,
top.
which I kind of broached the other day with you. What actual Federation laws, if any, has she broken?
I don't know. What ones do you think, sir? You're the security officer. Tell me the laws.
Well, I mean,
I suspect some.
Privacy,
okay. So if we're looking
data
at
protection.
if we're looking at British law, you've got the Human Rights Act, Article 8, right to private and family life. So that would be against law. But as it's an American TV show, you're probably more looking at a sort of like a constitution thing. US Constitution, but the First Amendment also gives you a right to privacy there.
Do you think the Federation has a right to privacy? It wouldn't surprise me.
It
Yeah,
would definitely
absolutely.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So what?
And family life.
An
as well, I
article
think.
within the Federation Charter or
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the family.
Section 32.
Yeah, it's probably. Wait, yeah.
Enjoy the little things.
But no, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a founding principle, like a sentient
Yeah,
right
yeah.
to privacy,
Yeah, absolutely.
like EU human rights. That's
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
or the constitutional rights, or various rights. There's frequently rights to privacy, so it wouldn't surprise me.
I am going to relay the captain's message to Kren through a text message.
On the thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
back at Karen,
I can actually arrest her.
yeah, if you want.
I think she's already been arrested.
Yeah,
Yeah, but proper arrested.
Proper
Oh,
arrest.
we could proper arrest her, yes.
Yay, we can take her off this place and throw her in the big, which means she goes outside the...
Thing which
One
means
blow
it
up.
explodes.
Don't.
I'm not...
No, I'm not
It's a good idea.
I'm not going to. I just wanted to be
Of
reassured.
knowing that
Yeah.
I just want to
you're
know
arrested.
that I can destroy the whole colony.
No,
legally the right.
actually broken the law.
I mean, there is always the option that is never ever explored in these situations, which is we could just leave and deal with it on our own.
Who made you captain?
I was going to say.
Well, they're Federation citizens, so we're not.
Yeah, I know.
We have a duty.
You have directives here, remember?
Yeah.
You
Ensure
can
the
ignore
safety
them.
and prosperity of the Lacuna Colony.
You can ignore them if you want. It doesn't go well for your career then. There's a role. Anyway, so we'll go back up to Kren, but I think we'll lose some momentum at this point, because I'd say that was changing scene enough by this point, because I haven't actually taken any momentum for change season yet. Scene changing yet. What does Kren look like then, as our last of our...
So, Kren is a female trill. She's in her early 40s. She's quite small and quite slight. She's got quite dark skin, so the sort of trill spots sort of stand out as almost a sort of caramel colour, slightly lighter colour against the skin colour. And probably the other noticeable thing about her is she had her left leg from pretty much above the knee downwards appears to be some form of high-tech prosthetic of some sort.
Borg.
As a result of an injury.
Subtle ball.
It's Starfleet colours.
Yeah, casual ball. Yeah, it's some metal and blue, I think, probably. Yeah, blue,
Okay.
definitely. Got to
Matching
fit with the uniform. Yeah.
Or like Iron Man's boot.
A little bit. But probably,
High-tech prosthesis.
right, yes. So she's got an artificial leg, as I said, that looks very complicated.
And a slug inside her.
Yeah, but you can't see that on here. You cannot see
But
this
you'll
one.
notice that.
Um,
Right, so as soon as Griot has wandered off, sorry, Lieutenant Commander
Tovon.
Tovon, yes. Still trying to remember the names. You're sort of, just, waiting down there. And do you remember the Professor Bixenia?
Yep.
Benexia, sorry. Or Binzenia. Yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce it exactly last time. But anyway, let's go with Binzenia. The Bolian.
I thought it was like Bixenia.
Could be, yeah.
I've got Benexia.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Yeah, Benexia. That's one way I could have pronounced it. Yeah.
Because I've corrected it.
and
Based on
she's
what you
the Bolian, isn't she?
Yes, she's the Bolian who's strictly speaking colony governor and sort of head of,
Research,
the science research stuff. It's kind of a, twofer here. You were sort of waiting outside when Jim John comes storming out of the sort of thing, followed by the one inside that had the phaser. And sort of,
No.
Then the other one with the other person standing vaguely guarding that door with the bigger phaser gets in the way.
Is she Ms. or is she Doctor?
She's probably Doctor.
John. No, Dr. John, I don't think you'll believe me just yet.
Who did this? Who's messed with my programming? Who's managed to get in there within 10 microseconds and reprogram this to do this?
Have I not got the text from...
Not yet.
Oh, no,
This
yeah.
is- this is
Okay,
basically
while
soon-
that was-
this is-
okay,
Right.
sorry.
This
Okay,
is
sorry.
this is wild.
Well,
Okay.
When you've gone around the corner, this will have, yes.
we don't know. We were just about to come and ask you some questions about that.
But you realise everyone knows that now, don't you?
Probably. I don't entirely know how your system works.
Well, everyone, lots of people are going to be keeping an eye on this current scene right here. Thousands of people in the colony are probably watching us right now
Yes.
through the scans. So that a lot of them know that we're exactly what we're talking about, and that someone's messed with the code, and how I don't know. This wasn't my plan.
You don't say. We may have disagreed. I didn't assume you were a potential murderer. I know it's not your plan. But you might be the best person to be able to undo this.
But I need to work out who did it.
Who could have got in that
No one.
milliseconds? Okay, who could have altered the code to look like it got in those
No one.
other than you?
No one.
Well, somebody has.
But I can't think how. I'll have to have a look and see if I can do anything about it. It was well hidden, though. Someone knew what they were doing. And, yes. I need to go and have a look. I need a proper terminal, actually. That would be more easy than using a pad.
I shall try and sort of look
with
at
very little programming power.
I shall try and look at the Boolean.
Oh, well, we can provide that if you think it's safe.
I think
that's
in
the
this
best idea?
instance, I don't see how it can get much less safe. So, yes, let's see.
This is very sad news, but I'm sure you'll be able to solve it, won't you?
I would live in hope we'll be able to solve it. If not, we will attempt to make some other form of arrangements. But
Would you be able to kiss us off?
I'd have to double check with our security officer and our captain, but I think so. Yes.
You'll probably text message will appear at this time.
I will put already knows bugged colony.
I come jogging around the corner. Takes me a minute.
Hundreds and thousands of people, probably hundreds or thousands of people.
Oh, well, there's only
by now.
there's at most 25,000.
I meant hundreds or thousands. Sorry, when I'm stressed, languages.
But no, if I might suggest, then it might be best idea to start evacuating people immediately.
As I said, we will need to discuss with the captain. The Morpheus is very unique, and we may need to undertake certain changes before we can bring people on board. I'm sure you've heard about the Morpheus line, so it's not a secret project.
So the challenge, the problem really is that whoever did this probably is monitoring this encounter.
And
Probably.
every other encounter.
And is slightly ahead of us.
Dr. John's requested access to a proper terminal.
She's previously pending at the...
So she can try and get some idea of who this person was.
I will assist her.
Excellent.
Well, do you want me to show you where one is?
That would be brilliant.
Why don't you take her? I'll go and rejoin the captain quickly, and I'll come and find you.
Okay, so you guys head off towards
Sure.
a terminal where the programming can start, and you head back to you guys at the thing. There's starting to be a bit of a crowd gathering around the main building of various people that you kind of have to come through a bit.
Yes.
They don't look aggressive and violent, but they look very concerned.
Captain, can I suggest that we perhaps request a security detail down here to keep the peace just in case?
You read my mind. This is a lot.
And I will suggest to the Enterprise that we prepare for evacuation procedures.
Yes. Although, let's not evacuate anybody yet. We don't know who has done this. They may be here. At the moment they are not here. They may choose to trigger it early.
So,
Okay, so I'll hail the Enterprise and
Okay.
request a security detail and ask them to set the Enterprise for evacuation.
So one of the things that happen system-wise in the game is that when you sort of build up the security thing, like you pull out the phase 3 rifles or get a security detail down, it adds to threat because the situation become more tense.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And that,
Just telling you.
and that means that stuff you can use.
Yes.
Excellent.
Well done, Dan.
I'm more than happy to have some
joking.
riots in
Bring it on.
public that we can shoot.
You want to
later on.
nerve
Oh, sorry, did I-
you want to nerve pinch some people, don't you?
That's what stun settings are for.
Lieutenant Commander Tollins accompanied
They start beaming
John and the Professor
Answering questions.
to a proper terminal to see if Dr. John can look into our own code in enough detail to determine who may have been able to do
I
this.
do not trust her.
No, I don't trust her either, but I don't think she's a murderer. We had a good talk. She's idealistic. Perhaps a
Idealistic.
little foolhardy, but not aggressive, I don't think.
Idealistic to the extent that she breaks the law.
Yes.
Idealistic to the extent where one makes a choice for many.
Yes. But I don't think she'd take a life. But I've been wrong before and will be wrong again. But that's my opinion currently. And actually, if it is her, to some extent, we know who she is and where she is. The more worrying option is if it isn't her. And of course, we have the added complication at the moment that any time we speculate about how this may have been done and who might have done it, everybody in the colony can see, hear, and anticipate the results of that speculation.
So, if anybody watching would like to come forward and let us know who has done this, please.
We don't know.
Shout from the crowd.
It's like we're being watched.
Everything's been watched.
Is there any way that we can create some sort of sensor bubble around us, some sort of jamming bubble? At least to the fact, I mean, visually we could still be seen, but maybe through sensors that could be blocked, so that we can have a private conversation.
I mean, the alternative is we could beam back to the Enterprise to have a conversation, beam down again. The Enterprise is outside of the field. This is solely centred on this
Is
dome
it?
structure.
Yeah.
This dome is the only habitable area of the planet and it's solely centred on that. We could beam back up again to have a conversation, or beam anyone we wish to have a conversation with up with us.
I shall prepare the interrogation suites.
The professor...
Isn't that his line?
The professor was anxious. The professor
Not
was
anymore.
the professor was anxious as to whether we could evacuate the colony if required. I said I would need to speak to you because the Morpheus is a unique craft.
It's theoretically possible. I don't think we've actually tested it on that scale.
We've already requested
Well,
they begin preparations, but it could be a security risk to bring
25,000
1,000
people on
people.
board, one of which might be a saboteur.
I think we can all agree with that, but it would in theory be possible if we did need to evacuate civilians.
Do they have any ships of their own here?
There's only the Cardassian
Just
purpose
us.
ship.
I'll have that one. Sorry, I'm not there.
Give me. I'm trying to think what's the best way of doing this.
Can we spend a momentum to try and figure out some sort of jamming so we are isolated from the...
Oh, well, we could just beam up to the Enterprise.
We could just beam up and beam down again.
Well, we could beam up and then figure it out and we beam back down.
And leave me on the planet with them. You know, that's cool.
I presume we're talking for a 5-minute conversation.
joking,
Here
don't
coming
worry.
back.
I don't mind.
Actually,
I'm doing science stuff. I don't care where you guys are.
let's make this a. I think probably it's. Yeah. Yes. Dan, Zelvok is the security person. If you want to give me some sort of noticing something roll, probably on security.
We currently have 3 momentum, if you would like to.
Apparently, I have no D20. Thank you.
The other ones.
So, what do you think it would be?
Adam's got some yellow
I
ones.
passed this side. I passed out the 9 that I have.
No worries.
Reason and security? Or insight and security?
I was just going to check my notes. There is a suggestion.
Oh,
Daring.
Alright.
Reasonable insight plus relevant discipline. So,
So
yeah,
say
if you want to do reason and security, yeah. Or insight and security, that is the suggested ones.
Reason.
Difficulty
I'm using momentum for an extra die.
2,
Can I use a momentum for an extra die?
if you want.
Captain.
Captain. Right, so it's been a couple of weeks, so that's 3 dice.
Yes.
I have a reason of 10 and a security of 5.
So,
15 or less.
15 or less, and if it's below, have you got a relevant foci?
No, not really.
So one's count as 2 successes.
One's count successes, but no others.
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
And tell me if you get the
That's a
20s.
9. And a 16, so that's a no.
So,
So
3.
3 successes.
Again, so difficulty 2, as I said. Or meant to. So you've passed with 1 momentum.
Already.
You notice,
Do you know, I mean, we get the momentum back, or...
maybe it depends if you want to spend it on the roll.
Yeah. You know my D20 somewhere.
You might can spend it on things on the roll or not. So, you notice round the... Probably, actually, no, you've got your tricorder out for the scanning things, I think, didn't you? So, you notice on your tricorder there's like a transporter signal on the other side of this main building.
To where?
No, someone beaming in. Actually, probably like 3 or 4 people beaming in.
My security detail?
No.
What colour is
Are
the
they-
transporter beam?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Oh yeah, sorry, you can probably tell it's a Kardashian.
Does it come from the ship in orbit?
The Galacrons, probably.
Oh, there
Unless
we go.
another Kardashian ship has turned up and the Enterprise didn't tell you.
Send the information from my tricorder to the captain's tricorder, and then go and have a look.
Good idea.
So, are you can spend like I say, you got a momentum on that roll because you got one more than you needed to. You could spend it for
They can't be up to too much. Because everybody
on that
has
roll.
it.
If you like say the obvious one because it's an information kind of thing is the type of thing.
Maybe
where
that's what they want.
if you wanted to ask another question, you could spend the momentum on that or any other momentum. There's not really huge. The other ones that come to mind immediately. Although you could also make
The life science Cardassian.
yes.
Okay, that was my other question.
Good.
I'm going to call the Enterprise and ask them to beam down additional security.
Not that we don't trust them.
Additional
It's just that, you know.
You racist.
Well, look, in our
I'm
defence,
concerned about this colony too. I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not there.
in our defence, though, one Cardassian has made the choice for many by implementing this thing. One Cardassian has made the
She
choice.
wasn't on their ship. She's not
Yeah,
part of their ship.
But she's still Cardassian.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
I mean, old habits die
Gotcha.
hard.
Gotcha.
One
Oh, yeah.
making the
I
choice
know.
for many.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
you and yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And
like that,
and you don't like them.
Run out my
Like is
perspective
an
on
emotion.
Cassia for a while.
So, another thing that you could spend momentum on is, I'm spending threat to do so, is to create
Condition.
Unruly crap.
a trait, which in this
Scene
case is a
trait.
complication.
I would like to, as I'm there being observed by the crowd currently, I would like to address the crowd.
Sure.
Oh,
Time to use those oratory skills. Oratory skills? Captain.
What's two?
Oratory. Yes.
Pretty sure it's two.
Citizens of the Lacuna Colony, we are investigating this.
Yes.
Some of you may be well aware of what is going on, others may not. At this moment, we will ask you to please remain calm, return to your dwellings, gather up any belongings you have. If need be, we will evacuate all of you safely and as quickly as possible. Please disperse.
Okay, that sounds like a present command roll to remove this particular complication.
that's also the snippet for the advert for the show.
So, difficulty 2 to remove a complication or other trait. So,
Okay, now I have a thing that.
Okay.
Here we go. My talent, Dauntless. I get a bonus D20 to resisting threat.
Oh, thingy.
that's more like actual threats as opposed to the threat points.
Okay.
Or coercion and that kind of thing. It's if you're being tortured.
I
or
thought it was.
threatened.
I thought it was like a bonus D20 for every one of those that you'd put on regarding that or something in the
No.
rule somewhere. Okay.
No,
So-
from what I remember of Dauntless,
Okay.
I'm fairly certain it's something more. Well, you've got a full description on in the summary in there. Yes.
I wrote it all summarized.
Check this out. Whenever you attempt a task to resist being intimidated or threatened, I may. So I'm not being threatened yet.
Not really. No, I'd
No.
say they're looking a bit unruly and a bit scared. But I
Okay.
would say this is. Nah, not really.
So.
They're not surging forward with
Yeah.
pitchforks and torches.
No.
So command and
Presence, probably. That's traditionally
Sounds
addressing
about
the crowd and being charismatic.
okay,
Okay, difficulty 2 is the sound difficulty to get rid of a complication.
cool. Shall I use momentum on this?
Yes.
I'm going to use momentum.
Could escalate.
There we go. So I get another D10, D20.
That's cheating.
Let me roll a D4. Okay, 2.
Right, so yes, do you have a relevant foci?
Like public speaking.
Lead by example.
You're going to go and disperse and go back to your
I'm going to go down the... I'm going to pick up my stuff and go. Disperse
Peace out.
by going to the... My job.
Except for that would be like my combat show. I'd be like, yeah, I need this.
and then that just beams away.
Shit! I need that.
Yeah. Yes, I don't quite think so. So yes, it's anything under the combination of your presence plus command. Is one success in any.
Oh, is it? Sorry, is it? this has to be. They have to all be under Presence of Command combined.
Not all of them, but everyone that is a success.
Can they equal it?
Yes.
Yes.
3 then.
Wonderful. So it was difficult to 2.
Ah.
And so-
15.
And like I say, any ones would be 2 successes, and any one, if you had a relevant folk, only be underneath the discipline
Okay.
would be 2 successes as well.
Yes.
But I assume you don't have any ones?
No.
And for 3 successes, you obviously don't have any 20s either. Again, right. The Rudy crowd has gone. You've calmed them down. They're peaceful. They have left.
While the
Would you like-
crowd's watching
Really
him
happy I
and
get to
then
shoot someone.
doing as he wants,
Yes.
can I watch the crowd?
Still anyway.
Yes.
I'm just on spot for anyone. I mean, obviously everyone's suspicious and a bit
I'm hoping
worried.
I could
Yes.
shoot someone.
But is there anyone that isn't looking suspicious
Sorry?
or worried? Is there
Um,
anyone who's
yeah, you should be
behaving
sorry.
oddly?
We come in peace. Shoot to kill.
Who is?
So you can make a separate roll for that, or you could add that. You could use the momentum that he got on that roll to ask me that question, whichever way you'd like. Every time you roll, there's always a chance of complication.
Do that. We had a
So
point
whichever
left
you like.
over.
He did.
Can I use your spare momentum?
Hmm?
The captain's having biscuits at the moment. That's what she says.
He's tired after his
Yes.
speech.
Yeah, okay, I'll spend the spare momentum then.
Sure.
Is there anyone that looks...
Well, they don't look suspicious. They don't look worried. They all look one of the other. Not really. No. I mean, there's a few. It's a scientific colony. There's a few oddballs.
Well, there's always... Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a few. Slightly
Some of them seem to be
awkward
kind of almost
people, but-
enjoying the peril. They look weirdly, but it's definitely in your sort of.
Like Kardashians.
Within the response set.
Yes,
That's right. I'm
indeed.
looking for someone whose behaviour isn't.
Not really. The only unusually, a lot of them are looking thoughtful, and there's a number of them that look a bit more like it's a problem they're solving. But again, it wouldn't be unusual in a colony of problem solvers.
And he has just reassured them that they can all be evacuated and that no one's hopefully going to come to any real harm. So
Yep.
that them looking less panicked is not a surprise.
Indeed.
Okay.
So, round the corner with Dan and Zelbok. I won't call it another scene because it's close. You going by yourself or you taking friends?
I'm going by myself.
Wonderful.
It's only 4.
Alright, so you get back, basically they're sort of at the equivalent of a fire exit, and there's sort of the old man, and there's like 3 other youngish, sort of muscular-looking Kardashians, and they look like they're trying to... They were fully dressed down, it's alright. Calm down.
Just in very short shorts.
How do you tell the muscular Kardashians? Do they just have extra thick...
Neck
Their
thing.
neck things go all the way up to here.
Wow.
Really
Well, they
solid
could
neck
do the thing like with the nipples, and they go doing, doing, doing.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
Gentlemen.
no, there's ladies and men. I can't quite work out how many of which, but they look. I should mention that like they've got like tools, and they look like they're going at the fire exit.
Wow. Ladies and
Wide
gentlemen.
beam.
You said you wanted to shoot someone.
I'm going to give him a chance first. Ladies and gentlemen.
He does look like he's got like an old phaser pistol, a
Please
Kardashian style one.
desist from your current course of action, or I will be forced to act.
Look, we're again the old pressers. Look, we're getting in there. We can solve the situation. We're as opposed to these bunch of Federation cowards.
Please desist from your current course of action, or I will be forced to act.
I don't think we've got the input codes for you.
Sir, please cease what you are doing. I've asked politely.
Never.
I will put myself between the door and them.
Give me an
get
insight
more
and
insight?
security roll.
Are they going to try and shoot me?
Well, he.
He's got his gun out.
That's good.
He's
He's
not
not
gun.
worried about the
Sorry,
Kardashians.
I've got
Give me a
a
phaser.
phaser.
I know.
Type 2 phaser.
But there may be a report
Probably spend that threat generously for
So
in that you might have to write one.
Oh.
13, and I'm going to use...
I'll just add his report to mine.
What's the roll for?
So it's to notice he's going to shoot you before he does,
Hand-to-hand
and
combat.
basically be able to
Hand
react
phaser.
and do something
So
different
if
before
we've
he.
just
It's to
gone-
go first.
should we
It's
let
to
him
go first
go
in
and
the
then
round.
there's
Oh,
Basically.
okay. First in the round.
No,
You've got combat.
There's
Yeah,
not
hand
really-
phaser, so that would count.
Zelbok, are you around? No
Yeah.
response.
You don't get extra dice for having a folk eye. But
Oh,
It's
okay.
just the roll.
Oh.
It's just-
You roll
it's just-
Can I use a thing?
You may use the last momentum.
Okay. So 3 dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I say. And any underneath your score equal to it gets 1 success, and any below your discipline or security is 2 successes.
Oh, balls.
That was a 4.
That was a 4, but 2 successes.
No 20s?
No 20s.
Right. So 2 successes, you say?
Yes.
Say that it's probably not hard to notice it's going to happen. He's not hugely quick on the draft, so it's difficulty 1. So you get a momentum back.
Oh. Yes, please. Thank you.
Which again you can use on a few things, but probably not a huge.
Can I use my momentum to quick draw my phaser pistol?
You probably go to do that anyway.
Oh, okay.
Strictly speaking, that's a minor action. But yeah, so we'll store it for now because you can get extra minor actions with it.
Okay.
So store momentum, Keith. Because I don't see any obvious uses. Like I say, there are common spends on the summary sheet, wherever that's gone. For
He's
momentum.
making noises again, sorry.
Right, are you phasering or are you nerve gripping? What are you doing?
Well, I assume I'm not right next to him.
Probably not right next to him.
I will...
But you can probably get to him before he fires. You've seen. In
which case
you
I'm...
can tell him he's revving up to fire.
You know, this is Star Trek and I'm a Vulcan. I'm going to try and nerve pitch him first. Come on.
Why not?
Right.
Sorry, we're enjoying some Pringles, everyone who's listening to the podcast. You may hear the odd crunch. Crisps. Sorry, some chips. Potato chips.
So
that was a really good crunch. I'll have to capture that and sell it.
Like I say, I don't think this will probably go to a full combat, but you never know. But I'm not going to bother drawing
really badly.
I'm not going to draw a whole map out, which I normally would do, but you're probably going to be the same zone.
Okay.
Where I am, monitoring this data,
Yes.
can I tell that he's getting in a fight? I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm watching.
He's probably going to smile to himself, going,
Indeed.
yeah, those Cardassians. Oh, wait.
So you get sort of minor actions, minor tasks, which again aren't normally rolls, but they're like moving, drawing weapons, interacting, that kind of things. And then you get sort of main tasks, which is the rolly kind of thing.
Hang on, you're tactical. Surely you've got that on your... There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's quite similar for that's probably for the shippy type thing.
So it's more shippy, yeah.
But it's quite similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance, drawing a weapon would be 1, or moving towards him will be 1. So as I'm saying, if you act first, you can use the minor action to get over to him,
Which
and
I
then
will do. Okay.
and then the normal task will probably be attacking him. Right. So with attacking him, is it lethal or non-lethal, Dan? It's probably, I'm guessing non-lethal.
No, it says knockdown. Oh no, that's my unarmed strike. Sorry, it's intense, non-lethal, whatever that means.
Indeed, that means
Intense.
My unarmed strike does a vicious of 1.
yeah.
Ooh.
But no, it's just generally
right hook.
I was going to say you're as nasty as my ice pick.
You're going to need some of these.
Yes, I am.
What's your biggest... Okay, I'll bring all of these over. You're gonna need
So-
these. These are your effect dice. You see
They
that's
are.
That's how many dice you got.
Well, no, I'm doing an unarmed. Oh, no, I'm
yeah.
doing a nerve pinch, which is 6.
and in nerve pinch is what? Non-lethal. You
Yep.
said?
Intense.
And intense, right. So intense means the cost to avoid an injury, which is something I could spend threat to do. It costs me more to do because it's intense and harder to not be knocked out or whatever, like that, and just go, oh, I missed, or just scuffed me, or yeah.
Well, you grabbed the wrong bit of my neck
Exactly.
there. What are you doing?
Non-lethal means that
He
it's
is a
hard.
Cardassian, so
can
it's
do-
more complicated.
You could do a lethal nerve pinch, but it would be harder than like, a non-lethal
Punch him in
nerve
the
pinch.
face.
Non-lethal means that if you tried to use this particular kind of attack for a lethal thing, then it would be hard. But it would be weird to start nerve pinch people and trying to kill them during it. It'd be definitely, yeah, it's a bit of an uphill struggle anyway.
You know that bit in Incredibles where she's like reached through the door, she's like, wait, face, punch. Pinch, screw it. Dush.
But no.
Can't find the fleshy bit, it's all the bone stuff.
So,
I'm shooting him.
sorry?
It doesn't work, I'll just
punch
shoot
him
him.
in the face.
You're going to nerve pinch him.
Yes. So, nerve pinching, like I said, basically with any attack, you have to decide if it's lethal or non-lethal, because lethal ones could kill them and adds to threat.
This is non-lethal.
And normally, most Starfleet officers default to non-lethal unless they've got a very good reason. not to. Normally. But it's just to let you know.
So you've got non-lethal, yeah?
Non-lethal melee attack, right? So that means it's an opposed roll of daring plus security with a difficulty of 1, opposed by his daring plus security with a difficulty of 1.
My daring is 11 and my security is 5.
So
it's 16.
Indeed, but it's a task, so it involves rolling dice.
Yep.
So
2 dice,
2d20.
16 or less. We've got a momentum if you want to.
Yeah, I'll have a momentum as well, please, Captain. I'm good.
I want you, it's against his daring for security. He's probably not good at those things.
No, I don't care. He's going down. He's going down.
He's going down.
He had a chance. He had his chance. I asked nicely, didn't I?
You did.
I did ask.
No, you asked.
Well,
It was nicely.
sternly, you asked twice, which at least is, that's something.
He called
I'm
him.
a spent thread as well.
He called him sir and everything. That's nice. He said, please desist, sir.
3 successes. Oh, and I have hand-to-hand combat again. Sorry, what does that mean? Focus.
So that means if you roll equal to your security or less, it counts as 2.
No, never mind.
It's okay, he only got 1.
Okay.
He's
You
not
got 3.
surprisingly strong, good at this. Which means you got like a success of 2 over him. Means you've got 2 momentum.
2 momentum, Captain.
Captain.
Captain, my captain.
Sorry, just trying to remember these rules right.
I think he rolls the effect and gets a +2, doesn't he?
No, he gets 2 momentum, but he can add.
Gotcha.
That's one of the many things you can do with momentum on this particular roll. On an attacky kind of roll, there's lots of more things you can do with momentum. Like the obvious one would be to add to damage, which is more likely to make him go down.
I will do that. Let's just do
You
that.
don't hear the other options.
No, that's fine. I don't need to hear anymore.
Other ones would be like lowering resistance, or re-rolling a number of damage dice from the current attack, or second target within reach the target suffers half the damage. If you double,
Can he roll the effect dice, see what happens,
yeah,
and then decide to spend momentum?
yeah.
If you're Borg, do you automatically have all the things that lower their resistance?
And then it becomes futile.
It's like the equivalent of armor.
Wow. Well, let's do this.
So what did this? So this was intense, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You finished the joke. Sorry, anyway, carry on.
I know.
Sorry.
So this was intense and non-lethal, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't mean because sometimes when you get the little Starfleet symbols, as opposed to just the starry bits, if they count as 1. But also, if there's a certain weapon effects, means they do something, but you don't have it on this particular attack.
So it's like the little explosion.
What does intense do again?
Means that it's harder for me to spend threats I could have to spend all 3 of these threats, I think,
to not
have him go down. Basically, if you do enough damage to do an injury to him.
Right.
Whoa!
Lots
That's
of things
impressive.
happened.
So that's nothing.
That's nothing. You got 2, 5, 6.
6. And then can I spend a momentum to reroll this one?
Or you could just spend a momentum.
I would bother. Just because, right, okay. So the way this works is that if a person suffers 5 more damage from a single attack, or they're reduced to 0 stress, or they take damage when they're at 0 stress already, they take an injury. Now, normally an injury basically knocks someone down.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably, unless he's wearing very thick armour under civilian clothing, you've done enough damage there to injure him, and he's not,
And it's not lethal, so he's like going to be.
he's going to go down, basically. So I wouldn't bother spending momentum to reroll when you're already on 6 damage. It's probably not much point doing it.
Okay.
Unless I want to spend to avoid an injury, then you could try injuring twice. But yeah, it would be weird.
Now the other guys are just going to beat you.
Well,
with sticks.
my follow-up will be, please comply.
So yeah, so you go, he goes, never! And then you kind of, and he goes,
Surely,
As Roger's calling silence, please comply.
well, surely it's a thank you for your cooperation.
right.
Just wondering if I can roll like some sort of intimidate roll for the rest of them.
I presume he never shot, did he?
No.
So we haven't heard it, so we don't need to worry.
Presence and security or something.
Probably,
Yeah.
Like I
Or
said,
command.
Oh,
He's fine on his own. Whatever happens.
It's not him I'm worried about.
There are other security officers.
It's
He's only a hologram anyway.
It's not him I'm worried about, it's everybody
I'm
else.
supposed to say that.
Yes.
Just a,
Oh yeah.
I would say
it's just a model.
they look a bit uncertain now that
Only
he's
a model.
gone straight down, and yeah, they're not quite certain what they're going to do at this point. So
Zelvok will now call for reinforcements.
okay, give me that. I think it's going to take a roll. Yeah, some sort of. You've asked them to comply and things. I think this requires some sort of roll
I've asked them to comply.
to see if they do comply.
Okay, please may I spend a Yep. And I'm rolling off.
Probably
Command and presence.
Oh god, not presence and security, maybe.
no. Not really. No.
Oh god, this is gonna be hard. 10.
You'll be alright.
Difficulty 1. It's not.
Yeah.
They're definitely not
Oh,
hard.
yeah, 1 success.
1 success.
Any 20s?
No.
One day I'll get a 20.
What happens when we get a 20? Do you get an extra
Bad
threat?
thing.
A complication occurs, which means I can either add to threat or make one of these appear.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Same happens if I roll a 20 on the occasions I roll. You get an advantage or...
You can put something over there. No, we don't do that, do we?
Don't think so, no. I think it's either a complication for them or an advantage for you,
And the
or I can
advantage
spend
means-
threats to make it go away.
And the advantage means that the 1 and 2, it's like adds to the like critical success, doesn't it?
No, it just means that things are easier or possible.
Right. Okay.
So, if a security delegation transports in, I'll then place them all under arrest for attempted breaking and entry.
Okay, so you're transporting more in.
Well, no, we can transport from
Okay.
I was
the
going to say,
detail that we've got. Only need a couple of
we've
them,
already beamed several people down.
Yeah.
but we can transport from blur to blur.
Yeah, just that's what I wanted.
Site to site.
I was going to say, to be fair, there's probably enough of them now around the building they could have just walked around.
Yeah,
Indeed. Okay, yeah, they drop stuff and they're like...
yeah. You are all under arrest.
We better go and...
Sorry, he's the professor and he said that
And
we would be helping the colony.
Might be casualties.
Are my security guys here?
Yeah.
Please place them under arrest and take them to the brig.
Commander Zolvok, do you require does anyone there require medical assistance?
It's not going to be you, is it?
What are you doing?
I'll look down. Someone takes a moment and looks down. Perhaps takes a little bit too longer than he should. And goes, yes, please.
I'll trot around the building.
Right.
You get a sigh over the combat and then the channel cuts out.
I shall trot around the building.
Someone's been nerve pinched. We'll assume that, yes, you're taking up to Medbay or...
Yes.
Doctor, after he's been revived, he needs to be taken to the brig, so please inform the security detail.
That's right. Am I right to take security with me to Medbay with him?
There will already be security there.
Marvellous.
It's the ship.
Right, 2 to beam up.
Okay.
Direct to Medbay.
Is that? I assume we're at red alert on the Enterprise. Do you think?
Yellow.
No,
Yellow.
You did say the words.
probably not.
No,
Did you
no,
say
no.
red alert?
No.
There should be a really rule that adds to the
In which
threat.
case,
but
maybe
no,
there
he
won't be
didn't.
security
He doesn't. You go to red alert and
Right,
But
every,
you get
and you're
to
like,
press a button. Are you sure
Every
you want to
minute.
go to red alert, sir? It
We
does
need
mean
to
changing
change
the bulb.
There are alert symbols, you see.
I know they're great.
They're
Yeah, it's
red
great. They're red alert symbols.
Anyway,
I will take...
you beam up and you look after him. He's scuffed, he'll be fine, and he goes to the bridge.
I was going to say, I presume that yes, nerve pinch
You
is
disperse the
normally
crowd
better
and you're
by itself.
securing the perimeter. I think unless anyone particularly has something thrilling to do at this particular scene, then we'll wander back over to sciencey scene, yes?
Yes.
Right, losing momentum now.
Very keen to get rid of that momentum.
Well, the more keen I am to get rid of it, the more likely you guys want to spend it. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
sit there.
yeah, that's true. That is true. It's good.
Man.
Right. So yes, you found like one of these sort of side it's like a fairly big prefab building. It's got like loads of computers and other things, and it seems to be one of these sort of sub hubs basically around the main thing. And on the way in, she's going,
There isn't really a table there.
No, I'm getting that sense of...
I've got no idea. Look, and they
No one's
start typing in.
infallible.
Look, and then she starts something. No, oh yeah, I've confirmed it here. Look, everyone in the settlement was accounted for at that point. Everyone. It can't be anyone here because they're all accounted for. I thought that they would be. I could say the system should have, alert us if anyone disappears because that's part of the security.
So the data has like a location element to it. So you can see out of character when it's reading everyone, where they are at that time as well in relation to everything
It's all
else.
there in the archive. Yeah.
Sure. So no one seems to be in the proximity of the building at the time.
No one seems to have an unusual emotional state. No one seems to be feeling guilty or happy about the situation that knows about it. No one's
What
predicted...
about since... has anyone... When we discussed it, who was particularly paying attention?
About half the colony.
But can we analyse their reactions to our discussion?
Sure. Well, again, it's only emotional.
But did any of them react 100 milliseconds before we said something because they knew, like a leading moment, where I saw something, I didn't say anything, but I then went to communicate to the captain, they would still have seen, have known.
No, what do you mean reacting within the prediction time? No. Well, again, everyone has access to the prediction time, although it's not always correct. But it's only got a sort of 87% accuracy rate. But no, there's nothing unusual.
I look slightly disgusted by such a low percentage figure. 87%. Okay. I'm starting to doubt the veracity of this experiment. Anyway,
This is soft science stuff.
yeah, I know. Okay.
But no, there's nothing.
Can I... So, out of character.
Yes.
This data core, how advanced is it? Is it 40 years old? Or have they been updating it with the latest bioneural networks and positronic relays and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's not... It looks like it's like a legacy system, but with like experimental stuff stuck on it. So it's like it's not quite like any other computer core you've seen, because it looks like it was started 40 years ago, but it's just been added onto with all of these other things and some other things you've not quite seen like previously.
Yeah,
like quantum level storage kind of stuff, and it's all and it seems to be sort of a test bed for a lot of new technologies in many different ways, and it does seem to be lots of systems attached together in a sort of higgledy-piggledy kind of way. It's quite hard to navigate.
Presumably some of them also were innovations from the last 40 years that never made it into mainstream use for good reasons as well. The odd blind alleyway of computing.
How big is it?
Probably still in use, no.
Yeah, I was going
Only
to
the stuff
say,
that's essential.
How big is it?
How large is the storage, and what's the number of computations per second or millisecond? Or I don't need an actual number, but is it like bigger than anything our Starship can handle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't mean how much storage. I mean how big is it?
Physically big.
Computational ability-wise, like processing power-wise, it's probably within the same scale as your ship, because that does a lot of computations at the moment. But storage-wise, it's
beyond
magnitude higher.
Okay. Because it's the size of New York City kind of thing.
Yeah, physically, how big is it for them?
And it goes down, basically, the way it's built is it's sort of around the geothermal power plant that goes down. It's kind of built sort of in those, the sort of the same shaft. So it's probably, it's very, it's probably even bigger. No, skyscraper sort of size. It's probably a bit
Empire
longer
State Building kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dug into the ground.
Can't download the data. Beam out the core.
Yeah, beam in space.
How much data is...
Don't even have to store it on a ship.
Tractor beam.
I'm thinking of what could possibly...
yank it out.
If it's not someone, then it's something.
No, totally, yeah.
If there's no one who could... there was no one near it, we need to look at alternatives. You have been building a vastly complicated machine, a brain.
Yes.
Could something have gone wrong internally?
Well, no, it shouldn't. It doesn't have the processing power with the data. It's not within sentience.
Not sentience. But could something have gone wrong? Could something have happened? Is there a way to trace the activity that happened to change your programming, where that stemmed from?
Well, yes, we know it was physically input on a console within, at most 19 microseconds.
Is that falsified information? Is there a way to check that?
Well, yes, but no, it doesn't look like this.
Okay.
Give me some sort of... Because I assume you're going through data
as
as well.
I'm looking at things and we're talking and... reason and science?
Yeah, that makes sense. Difficulty... This is going to be hard. 3 or 4. Let's say 3, because it's the first session still. Well, first mission. So difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. And I've got navigation, astrophysics, geology, warp field dynamics, composure, and reverse engineering. Do any of those help me?
Not
Okay,
really.
no, that's fine. Have we got any momentum?
Nope.
No. Okay, cool. Here we go.
You can spend threat to do it.
How many?
Same cost. You just add some momentum.
How many did you say? 3 successes. I've got 2 dice.
Yes, for some of the momentum spends you can just spend threat. The immediate ones, I don't worry about that particularly.
Okay.
So, just a suggestion.
I'm going to go for it anyway. Let's have a look.
So you're not going to spend any threat to get dice?
Yeah, I'll do one. Go for it.
Let's just test the mechanics. Not that-
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's why. That's why. Okay, here we go. I've got a 20, but I've got 3 successes.
Right, well. So, what complication could occur?
The console explodes in my face. That's generally what happens.
Yes, I know.
I blow up the colony.
Something somewhere will go beep.
Yeah.
Probably a not very good beep. It's like, you remember that sound. That's a bad sound.
Yeah. Hang on.
No, there's nothing. There's a noise in Star Trek that won't
So-
be a thing, isn't there? Yeah, basically.
But there's also a blinky red light.
You notice that there does appear to be a few, and this is not like on the official documentation stuff, and looking back, it only appears that they've sort of been there about a few days before this whole thing was turned on, this project Panopticon. There are a few holographic generators in that area.
Oh.
They look like they're sort of tacked on and stuck on.
Like, quickly and recently.
Again, the whole scanning thing wasn't on, at the time.
Okay.
So, but in the records, it does look like, looking into the system records without all of this crazy Panopticon stuff going on,
Yeah.
it does look as if they weren't there and then they were, like, attached. The power requirements could just appeared and that sort of thing. And
Okay.
then, obviously, you can see they're there now and they look like they've been fairly recently installed, but you can't see exactly when because the whole colony wasn't being scanned the
Yeah,
entire
sure.
time.
Yeah. Oh, if only we scanned everything all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, you also accidentally
Oh.
seem to... You didn't even go near that area of the code, really, but you seem to have caused her to appear inside there. She's next to you, and the holographic thing seemed to have turned on, but it doesn't look like a hologram, it looks like her.
Okay.
Is it reading as her?
And then the whole system goes, "Whoop." My little things have been breached where someone's inside.
Whoops. Does that mean it's going to blow up?
It looks like it's, yeah.
Is it projecting her?
Can we
Yeah.
As in,
beam
can
the
she now
satellites
interact with it?
It's not like a reflection of her.
Okay,
In fact,
right.
it
That's
starts...
the reason why we couldn't do it.
It sort of again. It looks like
There was
the
some sort of
mind.
reason why we
It's
couldn't
down to a
destroy the
molecular
satellite
level.
orbit.
There was some reason we couldn't do that either.
Down to a molecular level,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like her.
Yeah.
But
What's
it
it
looks
doing?
confused.
Okay.
The state of confusion, and then it kind of immediately runs over to the console and starts programming stuff in. Like
I'm going to try and
turn-
communicate with this person.
okay.
This thing.
It looks like she's trying to turn herself off, but you'll have a moment.
Can you stop the... Can you stop it from overriding?
You'll get sort of in stereo from the person there and the person in front of you. No, it's just cascading at this point. I can't do anything about it. I'll have to. Well, I had a backup idea, and it's kind of
Wait,
echoing.
you're in there. You're in there. Look.
And then, but only other comments. But it's best if I turn myself off.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
What? Why is there? What? I'm not there.
Turn it off.
Is she a hologram?
It's triggering because you're in there.
Turn what off?
Do what you're about to do.
How much of this? Do we know what's going on here?
Depends how much the data is freely available.
This is while you're wrestling nerve-pinching Cardassians.
Yeah, this is probably while you're giving speeches and pinching and that kind of thing. To be honest.
Don't worry, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's like
But yeah, probably.
Only the doctor got away. She
crowd
beamed up
spots.
with the Cardassians and then the planet exploded.
So
Does it turn off?
It's alright, I've passed my bridge exam.
New character!
Captain Crone of the Starship
Should be
Enterprise.
fine.
Yeah. So after sabotaging Lacuna Colony's computer,
It doesn't look like it's going immediately. It looks like it started a cascading reaction that you reckon will take a good quarter of an hour before it goes off.
okay,
Currently.
I'm going to calm the captain.
I was going to say, and then alarms start going off around the colony. And she said, "I've acted." Well, the Bolian, Rexenia, says, "Oh, I think we should probably start that evacuation now."
Yes, somehow there was a holographic projection triggered, and I've whacked for the captain on my thing, and I'm having a conversation with someone else.
What are you doing for me in your own time?
I've hit my com badge to call the and Tovon calling captain, but then I'm having a conversation with her, so that you can overhear it. While we were just looking at the data there, something happened. It projected you into the chamber. Look at these systems here. There's holographic units that are being fitted in that facility.
Yeah, that was. I remember. Let me tell you, I need a random name. Just a moment. Tazay. He was experimenting with them because he wanted to see how they would. Because we knew that there'd be. We knew there'd be people visiting, so we could actually, because we're not allowed. We don't normally have holograms because they interfere with the sensing equipment, so we can't normally have them. But he was seeing if he could still have holograms, so we could have the hologramic personnel that want to transfer here without interfering with the other systems. So he did put them in there in the middle of a testing chamber, and I'd forgotten they were even there. And this looks like some sort of mirror data that I didn't put there. But more importantly, it does look as if the whole colony is going to be destroyed
in 15 minutes. So we have some time.
Not much time, but
you can be transported from this point right now. Let's deal with everybody else. We have to solve this problem.
I did have a backup idea that if I wanted to deactivate this and there was some sort of failsafe, but it does involve us transporting into the bays where the
structure underneath.
The bays where the defense satellites are being held. And from there, I think I can probably deactivate the whole. There's a sort of back door through that angle, a little bit.
Physical one or?
Well, I need to be.
One?
It's hardwired, so I can't. They can connect to each other, but they can't connect externally.
Okay. And is there any way to use the holographic system in there to deactivate it itself? Can we get in there? Someone went in there, so someone projected in there.
Yes, but they did it quickly. They did it in between scans.
Yes.
And that meant it wasn't enough to trigger it. Now it's been triggered. No, you can't turn it off anywhere else.
Even now, get in between scans to turn it off.
Well, no, it's activated now. It's cascading it. It's running through the whole thing. I mean, before, it should have just let me turn it off, but now it won't because of some other kind of programming that occurred.
Yes. Captain.
Yes.
I suggest that the commander. Commandeers Tazay immediately. They may have something to do with it. Maybe just for questioning at this point.
Okay. Why are the lights flashing?
The lights are flashing because there seems to be a holographic system set up within the building, and that was triggered. We don't know how. And Dr. Johns was projected into the chamber. In doing so, the scan registered, felt that someone was tampering, and has activated them. We've got 15 minutes. Dr. John believes that we can beam into the superstructure. There's a hard-wired back door that we could try and access and get in and stop the cascade.
Go with her. Right, Commander, find this Tazay.
I am going to look him up on...
We have 15 minutes.
Well, no, we've got all these sensors. What do the sensors say where he is?
It looks like he's heading this way.
Excellent, I'll accept him. Or her.
Dr. Johns, what would happen if the core is removed entirely? The entire computer core is removed.
Well,
will that shut down the system?
Not really, no, because, look, at this point the information is being transmitted to activate the satellites. Interfering with it in any way will cause them to go off straight away, but they're currently going through some, basically, security checks on themselves because they're only sort of briefly activated, so they're going through procedure, but they can be emergently set to going off immediately, which is what happens if you try to transport them out, try to transport the thing they want to destroy out.
Is that why we couldn't beat them out in the first place?
Yes.
Yes.
And what's the reason why we can't target them all with a phaser and hit them all at the same time?
They'll just blow up and take everything out.
Yeah, I was going to say they'll probably
Just do the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
You could definitely have a go at that. Might work.
The
but
surgical
it's definitely-
phaser strike.
It would be very risky because it's like, as I said before, the planet's got an unusual core, which means that signals again don't go out from it. But it also means that shooting a phaser through it or into it might cause some surprise reactions or set off the satellites a bit early. It would be a risky option, but
I
it
can
might
hear
work.
this conversation, can't I?
No,
'Cause
that bit was me. That was Keith asking Adam
I assume so.
why we couldn't.
No,
do it,
but
because we
you-
asked before.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. No, yeah,
Yes.
sorry, you weren't asking her about phasers.
No.
were you? No.
I was just
Can
saying.
we just blow it up?
No, I was just literally saying, can we just yank the core out?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think that I'm fairly
With
certain
the
that it's set off
tractor beam.
immediately.
Yeah.
Although someone's been messing with this code, so who knows? Maybe that would just play a nice song.
Right. Enterprise. Stand by for emergency evacuation configuration and start beaming every non-assumption personnel off this colony right now.
I should just
I
stand
want
in
to use the shuttle
medbay.
pods as well.
I should just stand in medbay and sigh.
Like I say, yes, there will be an announcement over the thing.
Just looking out the window as the planet explodes. I will com the best transporter chief I know on the ship.
Right.
The only transport.
Yes, Chief
Brian O'Miles.
Chief O'Miles.
If you want to actually have someone, a named person to talk to, you'll have to make them.
Ooh,
You can make them quite quickly. Do you want a name?
yes.
Surely one of your patrons could have done this.
Well, yes, but I think there was someone said Ilya, Chief Ilya.
Right, so Chief Ilya.
That was a comment on one of the videos.
Wasn't that Kira Narise's Cardassian names when she was put in as the daughter of that guy?
Yeah, it might have been actually.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a great episode. Deep Space Nine's just great. Cardassians are cool.
It's good.
Species. So what species do you think Ilya is?
Delton.
Ooh. Bald ones.
The bald
no hair.
ones.
Oh, right, those ones.
Yeah. They're highly sexual. No, they used to. That was the old school version, but they're not anymore. They're just bald.
Oh, the ones from the original series film, the first one.
Yeah, the motion picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, she's really bald.
God.
Look how bald she is."
You can tell she's a different species because she doesn't have any.
I know, it's really stupid, isn't it? It's great. How about the ones that just have paint on their face? Like they've got like a pattern, and they're like, we're an alien.
Right, so we'll go with focus of transporters
Yep, sounds good.
and replicators.
Yep,
That's the list.
sounds good.
Well, at least they're not black on the left side and white on the right side.
Gonna go.
Oh
with-
god, those things. Yeah.
Or the black on the right side and white on the left side.
Yeah.
So then that's those.
I'm gonna go with hold
Let's never
systems for the
speak
first
of
one on
those.
board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they were
Any
the
other
last
particular
two.
folk I want them to have? We need three, strictly speaking. Philosophy, martial arts, metallurgy, mokbara, endurance, empathy, energy weapons.
Targeting systems.
Well, again, there's no point having a folk.
Cooking.
There's no point having a foco that overlaps. because-
Cooking.
and she'll already have that with transporters.
She's an expert with the replicators and the food synthesis.
Right. So, what do we think she's best at out of the attributes, and then we can go down?
Transporters.
No, attributes
Oh.
like control, daring.
Control. Is that the right one?
Control and reason sound good.
Very
don't they?
significantly on one people. The control is probably quite good for. You can imagine a lot
Yeah.
of
Engineering.
Well, yes, that would probably be her highest discipline.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I would have thought
Control.
reason probably
Reason.
quite good.
Yeah, reason. And
Insight?
yeah, why not?
Insight, and then
Daring,
daring,
fitness, presence, fitness.
fitness, and she's probably good at engineering. What she did, probably something else she's good at. The next one,
Science,
science.
security, medicine, command, con.
Right, who wants to play it?
Keith?
I was going to say you're the only one on the ship at the moment.
I'm the one on the ship at the moment. I'll do her.
Your transporter chief Ilya.
Right, okay.
You may need the ship.
You might.
I might need the ship.
Yeah,
So
That's how you
for-
make a sporting character. It doesn't take that long.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Chief Ilya.
Ilya here, yes?
I My new colleague is about to send up some coordinates. We need transport down into the superstructure of the defence satellites.
Okay.
I've got some geological data here that I think might help you with your
All right, send it up.
scanning and targeting.
To beam them into a rock.
I'm hoping that I can therefore
Do not
help
beam him into a
with
rock.
if there's like a weird beaming roll that needs to be made.
Yeah,
for
I think transporting there without because it could go wrong. So I think this is why I made the supporting character because it should be played by someone that makes a roll.
They are also possibly attempting to get ready to transport 25,000 people as well. So this is not her best day ever.
That's the other reason I thought it might be worth.
Or maybe it is her best day ever. She feels really useful today.
So, all of these ones, beam. All of these ones, beam.
All of these ones in all of these ones' clothes. Beam!
I was bored, alright? You do a thing once.
The ship is reconfiguring to, like I say, the emergency transport mode, which I haven't written down at the moment.
That's all right,
Which
we'll
are quite
believe
low
you.
stats because a lot of the power is into holding the ship together.
Yes, yeah, I would have thought so.
But it's probably built to beam people up.
As much as it can be.
Yeah, sure.
I can't remember. Yes,
Right, so what am I
remember what
doing?
talents if there's a relevant to that one, but we'll say that yes, the systems are all at 9 basically. I think they might actually be lower when I get to sudden, but the department say the same.
Everyone beams up standing up except one person. She beams upside down.
Yeah, on the head.
So who's rolling her? The ship? What's happening?
Right, so you're rolling for her.
Right.
She's the main person doing this.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to help.
So she gets
And the ship helps.
2 dice.
And Keith's going to do the ship.
Keith can roll for the ship.
So I get
Everything's at
1
9.
die
Indeed.
for helping.
And I get 2
Indeed.
for being her.
And the
So-
ship gets 1 die for helping.
And she's
Reason,
rolling
science and geology.
Yeah, sure.
control and engineering.
Difficulty 3, I'm going to say.
Control and engineering.
Yes,
presumably?
that would work for this one, yeah.
Okay.
And the system's probably, I can't remember what systems there are.
I have 2 successes, and one of them's a special Starfleet emblem.
Comms 9, engines.
I rolled a Starfleet emblem. Yeah!
All the momentum.
Comms 9, engines 11, structure 10, computers 11, sensors 9.
I can't remember what transporting is. We'll say,
Sensors?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's in- yeah.
I think it is. I have written a note about it somewhere, but yes. We'll go for that.
So
I'm pretty sure that is it.
Sensors and engineering? Or sensors and science?
Sensors engineering. Because Trace O'Brien was, that's an engineer.
Yeah. Of course. He's like the
Yes.
best engineer in the Federation.
Is it underneath the department?
It is.
All right. I got 2.
The 2. What number is it?
11.
So it's not, if it's just under just the department score, which I think is probably 2, because most of your scores are 2.
Oh, yeah.
Then, because ships don't have foci, they count as always having a focus, but the number they have to roll below is the department, which is the lower number. Yeah, she rolled a 1,
Yep.
and she has a
Which is-
focus any case. So if she'd rolled beneath the discipline, she'd get 2. So that one's worth 2 successes.
Yep.
And then the other dice was also a success, yes?
Mhm.
And you got 2 successes as well.
Yes.
And
I
you
think we
got another
smashed
one.
this one. So
Indeed.
we got 3 over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
got
got
3 momentum.
6 in total, and it was 3, so yes. You've got 3 momentum for transporting.
Hooray!
She is pleased with herself. She shall
Okay.
nod. I think I'm about to try and move 25,000 people.
Indeed. So, right, you appear in a dark...
Could you beam me in with a torch?
Well, you probably...
I'm
Did you
sure
have a torch
you're
with you
fine.
anyway?
Oh, no, I've got one of those really awkward Voyager ones where you have to walk around like this.
If you'd like, or your
I'm
tricorder
sure your
could just...
tricorder.
Yeah, I know.
Your
My
whole
tricorder's like, ba-ba! Exactly, like, doong.
With a picture of Earth with like the Starfleet emblem just
Yeah,
rotating
yeah,
around.
With that roll, you probably could have beamed them out. Anyway, anyway.
Can we spend the 3 momentum to get 12,000 people up on the ship?
No, I think you meant the satellites.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit, yeah.
Anyway, because this is a lot.
She's busy just going to beam all these people. Can you beam us in here? There you go.
It's just in the rhythm.
Yeah.
Just like,
It would have to be a very busy day.
Yeah, because I probably made it 5 or 6 difficulty, but then again, if you failed it, then it would have just immediately blown up.
yeah, so it's not, and we wouldn't have rolled
No.
as
no.
well. We know we would have all rolled 20s,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the Enterprise would be destroyed as well.
So,
So, Enterprise H.
For hologram. Got a big H on it. Someone already said that. Shouldn't it be the Enterprise H for hologram?
just on the front of the ship.
Like Rimmer. Anyway, sorry. We digress, as we all want to do often.
anyway,
it is an actual play, so no, it's not a radio play. It's not, anyway.
it's not a radio play!
Let's go.
Foley.
Walking on gravel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is there gravel in here? It's really gravelly in here. So for the podcast listeners, yeah. Once again, that was a made-up sound effect.
It wasn't
Like
digital. It was physical.
Yeah,
old style
absolutely.
Foley, yeah.
Old school.
Anyway, sorry, Dan. Right. So you guys both beam in there, and there's like a giant big defense satellite with faders, and looks very dangerous and slightly badly kept up, like it's not often maintained.
Yeah.
There's a few wires hanging out and stuff. I think, yes. Is it anyone else doing relevant things before we get into this bit down there? I'd say no.
I'd say panicking, but
I was going after this guy, wasn't I?
yeah, he's going after this guy.
Tazay.
So I'm now
Unless you wanted to come with us, Captain.
I should probably return to the ship, given what's going on.
Yeah, because the whole planet's about to blow up. Yeah, I'm getting out of here.
Let's go sit.
No, you
Go
should.
sit in the comfy chair.
I don't know if this will be interesting enough to do a scene about. What were you going to ask Tazay, particularly? He'd just be like, yeah, I put some holographic things in there.
Why?
Because we were testing the whole thing that they said, they're testing the hologram, see if they could do it without sensing, that kind of things.
Why was he coming to find us?
He wants to get off the planet.
Because he saw that you'd asked to see.
Yeah,
they saw that you
they
told
can
him
see.
to go and
It's 100 milliseconds.
You know a bit where I sort of said just to the colony in general, I went, if anybody has some information they would like to...
So why didn't he come forward earlier when you said
He
that?
didn't think it was relevant. Look, I was just... We'll say he's... what's to say? What kind of
It
name
could
is
have been
that?
on the other side of the colony. You have
sounds
to walk
like,
here.
As this was ages ago and before the scanning was up,
He's a
was
Tellarite.
operating.
Yeah, Tellarite.
As this,
No, he'll be argumentative.
as this was put in before the scanning was operating, we could ask him who else knew they were there.
That's a good shout.
Who else knew they were there?
Well, everyone, really. Everyone that works in there, that none of them seem to care, particularly. I mean... I think I put in I might have forgotten to put an official requesting with Brexenia, because I thought she might refuse. And I know it wouldn't cause any harm, but I wasn't really being quiet about it. I just wasn't being official about it, you know? But they should have been off.
And you were not official about something.
I thought I disconnected them, to be honest. Maybe I didn't. Not sure. Yeah, so
you installed these things without permission?
I guess. But I mean, I didn't install them with, directly don't install them instructions.
But without consent?
And we're allowed to show our own initiative. It's a science lab.
Without consent or permission?
You don't normally need consent to put in holographic generators. That's weird.
It depends what the intention is to use
Well,
them.
they weren't for the fun tone programs. Let's put it that. They shouldn't. Well, they were quite advanced, but
Shame.
But only in the sense that they should be very low emission, as it were.
And when do you think
They should project
disconnected
very good holograms, very confined holograms.
When do you think you disconnected them?
Well, when we all left, when we were sort of given the
What's the projection range?
it's just that couple of rooms. It's got some important consoles in there, but again, they shouldn't be. There's no holographic programs. At least I didn't put any holographic programs on the system. So again, there shouldn't really be, apart from some sort of basic testing cubes, unless the cubes are doing something. Well, and spheres, geometric shapes, but yeah, unless the geometric shapes are doing something.
Are they?
I don't. Well, not like. Well, there was two DMs briefly, but I didn't program another DM in there.
Have you programmed one into there previously?
No, like I say, there's been no holographic programs on the main systems or any of the systems really at all. Well, there's
So
probably
the
some data
holographic
somewhere.
projectors.
There's lots of data on there, so there's probably holographic tests
projectors
somewhere in there. But I
that
didn't
were
put it in there.
were installed with limited holographic programs on there.
Yeah, just geometric shapes and stuff. That's all I programmed in. In the system, there's probably a bunch of stuff. I haven't really noticed any, but the database is quite big, so there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what's on there. But I didn't really look for any. I know basic holographic programming.
Is there any way to tell he's lying?
hold him down and torture him.
That's the second option.
Ask him how many
Right,
lights
right.
there are.
Only way to be sure.
Mind meld. Here we
Someone
go.
get me the mind. I can do a mind melt.
Yeah, but you were just talking about consent.
It's wrong to scan everyone the entire time.
Yeah. My mind to your mind.
Tell him he's lying.
It's not an interesting enough role, no.
No, he's not lying.
He doesn't seem to be lying, and
Okay.
you can look at his emotional state using the scans that are on anyone. If you
What's his emotional state?
want. Worried, concerned, slightly scared.
His flash is about to blow
It's
up.
lying.
There's alarms going off everywhere, and
And a scary
it looks
Vulcan.
like it might be his fault. So yeah,
There's a Vulcan who's trying to kill him. I mean,
There's a
question
very
him.
scary Vulcan in front
there's a
of him.
Starfleet security officer, but you know the worst they'll do is put him in the brig. So he's not actually scared of you, but he's scared of all the alarms and exploding planets and all the other stuff.
And then it might be
And
his
he
fault.
might have done this in some way, much more than well. You can't. Again, reasons for the emotions are not within the purview of
Yeah.
the program, but that's what you'd expect.
Okay, I'll let him go.
Well, I'll look into the system, but aren't we evacuating?
Not you, not yet.
All right.
What was the chief scientist's name again?
Big Xenia. Benexia. I can pronounce it in many ways. It's
Venexia.
the Bolians are very cheerful.
Venexia Kra.
They don't believe in one pronunciation for their names. They like many pronunciations.
I would like
Okay.
Benexia's feedback on the installation of the holographic projectors without permission.
Hang on, isn't that you? What are you? You're
Kren.
Kren.
What do you mean you want that input?
Well, I want to know.
Are you asking her or?
Yeah, I'll comment.
Okay. Oh, well, that does seem a bit unauthorised, but I'm sure he had good intentions. I've known him for a few years. He seems like a very nice lad. Well, yes. But no, if he was only going to activate them during, the period when we had most of the scans shut off because of the visiting and the party, then yes, I don't think that seems quite like him. I might have refused, to be honest, because a lot of the other scientists would have got quite upset,
Perhaps we should transport him down there so we can have a look at them.
Well, if you want. I don't know if that might speed up this countdown, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Alright, I'll wait with you.
Where to?
Go and evacuate.
Right.
Big on.
sorry. The ship. Duh.
Right.
It's like just in, or it's just like,
Right, so,
Place that isn't going to blow up soon.
right, so on the ship
Well, we hope.
you're organising the ship slowly sort of stretching out and growing, and new holographic bits are being added as people are being transported up, and it's kind of higgledy-piggledy, and you're helping organise that, because it's quite got the organisation, and unless anyone else has anything to do before we switch to Dias's disarming.
Are any of the people beaming uphill? With other medical
They're quite
requirements?
stressed.
Yeah, I know, but have they got their crew of a hospital and I'm going to have to be viewing that in?
If it's 1,000 people, yeah, there's probably a few sick
Alright,
people.
in which case I'm doing that. If not, I'm just going to go to the bridge and stare at the captain while he does stuff, but
But no, there probably would be.
just look
If you want to go
reproachfully.
and stare at the captain, then-
No, if there's ill people.
there's other medical personnel. So.
No, that I would
they're
do.
picking up
heroic,
the heroic
Captain
pose,
heroically doing holographic stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've got advanced hologram systems and stuff. Can I not help the engineers?
We'll assume it's going well.
And also if the bridge, if the ship's
That
doing
one's
that, I
dead
might
yet,
want to go to
so
the
it's
bridge
fine.
before it gets a lot further away.
I mean, if you really want to roll for it, then you can, but I
We're
think you'll probably go
walking for
fine
ages.
without
Why
you
did you
rolling,
move
and there's
the
a
med
chance
bay
of
to
rolling
the-
at 20. So it's up to you.
So, yes, we put this lovely, long, massive dormitory in without a wall.
Yeah, exactly. So you can ruffle if you'd like, but I think
Here's your
probably
quote.
enough to do so.
Was that a turbo lift?
No, I think I shall stay in medbay if the ship is reconfiguring around me. Generally speaking, walking the corridor.
I swear to God, that is going to happen at some point, isn't it?
Oh
They
yeah.
are beaming up doctors and things as well.
Yes, that's true. But I will go to the bridge eventually, but I might wait till there's a transporter free rather than just roaming
And-
around a ship.
And the
The
automatic...
plan is changing.
Well, you kind of have to organise it as well, because as it goes into the emergency evacuation shape holographic plan, then it's obviously the medical bay significantly expands to cover all of the people, because you would assume that a lot of them are sick when you're evacuating people. So it's kind of growing, and you're kind of have to organise how big you think it's going to grow with information. There's organisational stuff happening.
No, that will come back here.
There's brief shots of shouting, "No, you there! No, you there!" That kind of thing.
Wall. No, seriously, not that.
Need a staircase.
So you've gone from like a quite a large room with maybe 5 bio beds to, oh, you have your own hospital wing.
Yeah.
With
No,
like 6
seriously,
wards.
it's not a war zone evacuation. Where's the button for not a war zone?
Right, so losing momentum for changing scenes, I think.
How many momentum does that leave us? 2.
I don't need 2,000
So,
emergency.
you're down this sort of dark, except you're lighting it with the tricorder.
Yep.
There's this big thing, and there's sort of, you're on some gantries, basically, in this sort of dark, dusty hole.
Yep.
The air's a bit thin, like the life support's not great down here.
Sure.
And it's quite cold, annoyingly.
I'm a Cardassian. Oh, I don't like the cold.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can deal with
The
thin
dark's
air.
good, though.
Oh, yeah.
The dark thin air's nice, but... And she's like, right, so we need to... It's this panel here. And yeah, so we need to hook this pad up, and I'll get moving into it. And yes, I can definitely use some help.
Well, absolutely. That's why I'm here. I'm gonna just look around. I'm just gonna look around in case there's any quick signs of sabotage or anything going on, and just superficially, look around. Are there any panels hanging off things? Has anyone got into the gubbins of anything, or does it just look like no one's been down here in a while?
No, it looks dusty and kind of nothing really particular.
Right, in that case, I'll just focus on the panel. I was wondering if I had to get the Type 1 phaser out and be on defensive duty.
Got you up with the tiny phaser.
I have. Yeah.
Well, it's lucky he has a phaser with him at all, because he didn't want to take one originally.
Okay.
Because he wasn't following protocol.
I will step up with my scientific tricorder blazing, and exactly, yeah, absolutely. I like to think it's got a bit that goes whoosh, like that, and then
Yeah. I think that's what we covered before. So you flick it open and it goes,
Still
yeah.
So, she's programming fiercely. There's lots of alarm noises and things going off. It does look like some systems are turning on this defensive thing as you are doing things. But yes, it's all going to come down to the frantic roll to try and turn this off.
Sure.
I think she should probably make. She's probably the main person doing it.
Sure.
Although you are the star, so it's up to you. Really, do you want to make the main roll? Or do you want her to make the main roll? She might be better at this.
I think Dan should do the role.
Yeah. But
And I'll support.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
And I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many
you're
dice do I
rolling
get?
her.
I think you should roll some Star Trek dice, though.
All right.
Okay.
How many dice do I get?
2 is normal, but she's probably got.
Can I spend momentum for me, or can we spend momentum for her?
I don't see why you can't spend momentum for her. It's not really covered by NPCs actually helping you, but yeah.
I
so
will
it's
spend momentum.
Okay.
to help. Okay, so she's probably got what's the maximum total? 17
Yep.
in this
What can you do
reason
with?
plus computing. Right, I was going to mention.
Oh, yeah.
That was the next thing I was going to mention.
I have a value.
She had more than one, hopefully. I don't think you can do them all.
You have value, do you?
Is it selfishness?
So, but that will affect how much you spend to add dice to
The modern
things.
Cardassian.
Oh, arrogance.
Let me look at the rules. So, in general, I don't know if you can spend on the helping, but determination.
Yeah. Add an extra D20.
Basically, it will affect how much it costs to buy other ones with momentum because they're bought later. So you can basically add an extra dice that automatically scores 1
Yep.
if there's a value that's relevant to the situation.
No price is too high for truth. No.
No.
No, I don't have a value that's actually.
I don't.
Or there's a directive that's relevant.
Oh, like ensure the safety and prosperity of the Lacuna Colony.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. I'm going to spend a point of determination.
But it didn't go ding when you did that. Can you edit that in later?
Ding.
Post production.
So I'll say that for you because it's very much your thing, determination. your
Okay,
thing.
so I will do that.
Get an extra one at 1,
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
And I'll roll.
but it means that buying that extra momentum, the dice, costs 2 instead of 1.
Or 2 momentum.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So one more.
Because you always buy momentum dice last and they cost 1 extra for each one.
Okay. Cool.
We are out of momentum. We are going nowhere.
So we're both rolling 17 or less.
Right.
Let's roll.
20s across the board.
5. 2 successes.
Oh, I got a 1
Hey.
and 2 8s.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh.
7, 8 successes.
I was going to say, probably difficulty to play. I'd say probably more like 4 actually, but yes. So you get all the successes. So there's sort of, it looks like it's kind of all powering up. The thrust is going briefly. Yes. There you go.
Well,
Right. That's all.
Balls start to come back in again.
Now turn
no.
off.
that was close.
Yeah.
Well done.
Right. Why the hell did... How the hell did that happen? Why is there a hologram of me that looks exactly like me?
Someone's created the image of you to frame you for something. I think. Are we being monitored down here?
No, actually. That's why it worked. That was why it was a back door. I didn't think anyone would consider she coming down.
I
here
think
and try
someone's
to
trying to set you up for something.
So does that mean
I don't know.
satellites are now safe?
Why else would they have...
I don't know how many we got up.
I think so. I think we can beam them back down again.
But
Can we
if
do that?
Well,
Are
at
you
the
on
same
live
time-
comlink? Can we hear you?
how shielded is it?
You could definitely get comlinks through.
But also,
Okay.
we turned
Yeah,
off
we've
that
got
it
you on
was launching. I don't think they've turned off that it might still go if anyone interferes with the experiment. So if we've bothered beaming them
Yeah,
all up,
has-
I'm tempted
has-
to say we should just sit with
No,
them
they
Is
there.
it severed, or they could reactivate it?
Well, these things, if we get attacked, then we'll be in trouble, but we can't.
Oh, all right.
They're these
They're deactivated.
four defensive
Well, the
satellites.
Enterprise is in orbit, so attack is
They're
not a problem
deactivated.
right now. So they're deactivated.
They're powered
Can you
down
hear me,
entirely.
Captain? They're deactivated.
Well done, Mr. Tobon.
And I didn't see any other security measures.
Well,
I wouldn't mind
it
double
was a joint
checking
effort.
before we.
Excellent.
Could we go somewhere where I can? You wanted me to answer questions, didn't you? Look,
I'm just gonna turn off my comm for a moment.
there's lots of academic arguments, obviously. There's a number of people that disagree.
open it again.
But I wasn't honest
I'm
about
not going to answer.
doing this ahead of
Turn it
time,
off.
but they would have to have planned this.
Ahead of time.
Well, it was done
How long,
afterwards.
how long have you been talking about this?
But if they'd done it
On the
during,
bridge.
after the panopticon was activated, then that we'd know. They would have come up unless they could have fiddled with the data. But I don't think that anyone has.
Or they're down here.
I have an excommunicate button.
They can
You do?
do it from down here because you can't get access to the system here really easy from
It's
down
called
here.
X-
either.
It says XCOM, but I was like, excommunicate.
We're going to excommunicate the goddess.
Sorry, we'll be quiet. We're being quiet.
Crosstalk. The listeners can't hear us talking.
Alright.
It's all right. Don't worry.
And for the podcast listeners, they're real people cross talking.
It's not Adam and I doing echoing voices around each other. Anyway, so you can't access it down here.
No, you can't really get hold of the system.
What about in
there's
the
no-
data core itself? Is there any?
Oh, you could do it in there.
and
But no, that's scanned. That's covered this.
Are you sure?
Yes, no, I'm sure.
So, what about from orbit? Control those holographic systems from orbit.
Perhaps we don't really go into orbit. It's not really something of consideration.
Yeah, but
so-
when we arrived here, there's a ship in orbit.
But again, while the panopticon level scanning is not occurring in orbit, we notice if a ship was there. I mean, this is a scientific colony for scanning space mostly, or at least it was before we moved this project up. But so we would.
But as soon as you move this project up,
I
how
guess-
many regular scans have you made for cloaked or hidden vessels in orbit?
Oh, constantly. It's very hard to cloak. You can't approach here in a cloak, really, because the
Because
cloak
of the-
hides signals, but
Certainly.
not the ones that we hear. Even our background scanners, our passive scanners on
Yeah,
the thing
you
would
would
notice it.
pick them up because their
There's no
background
way.
noise. Yeah.
Well, you can't ever be sure what level of technology people have reached. Maybe there was a cloak that could do it, but no known cloak.
Or one that came. Keith's face there. No known cloak. Interphase. Sorry.
No, I know of another. I know of a clerk that does. Shinzon's.
Okay.
Because his cloak was perfect.
It was, wasn't it?
I think that's,
Okay.
probably a known
And
cloak at
I'm
this point.
a student of war,
And no cloak is
so I will
perfect.
know about that.
There's no known cloak.
There's no known cloak. Okay. What about a ship that came here under a different guise and was doing something? I don't know. There must be a reason for this.
No, we only get
Someone-
ships every 3 months. A supply ship every 3 months. And that
What about
wasn't-
these Cardassians?
They weren't here at the time.
Who was here at the time?
The colony.
And no one else.
No, we don't have any visitors because they mean that we can't properly scan the sort of background gravity waves, the background low-level subspace levels, because every ship that turns up interferes with all of that. So that's why the ships aren't only supposed to come in here unless it's an emergency or we invite them.
Very well. So there were no ships in orbit. You can account for the position of every colony member using the system at the time. So the system's wrong. You said it's
How?
87% accurate.
No, the prediction is 87%.
Oh, sorry.
Over 100 milliseconds. It jumps to about 90... Well, it hits 99.99 at about 40 milliseconds.
Okay.
I'm not there, but could the system have been programmed to not record the scanning on a particular person? To the extent that it scans them, goes, I'm not supposed to be scanning this person, and deletes all record of them. Sorry.
I will ask if the scanning itself can be...
No, it's just... No, that's very much the thing that I stopped occurring.
But you also thought you had control of the... Can we check?
Not from down here.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing, I can't do anything from down here.
So we've solved the problem.
Yes, I was going to say we are.
But we now need to go and do a course of action that we don't communicate to anyone once we get out of here.
I said, take out the hollow projectors while you're down
No,
there.
they're not in here.
They're in the main building.
They're in the building you guys were trying to get into.
Yeah.
Very well. I
Well,
think we should beam
stop
up.
people
I think we should beam up to the ship.
Sure.
Yep.
If you like. Yeah,
Okay.
I should be able to access things from there.
Captain.
It's a turbo.
So, Enterprise 2 to beam up to the bridge.
This is the Vulcan equivalent of the dwarf growl. Marge Simpson the hell out of you.
To be fair, he got a decent sort of half.
Captain.
He got a decent half squint at me as well. I was like,
Captain, the emergency has been resolved, but the cause of it hasn't. In order for us to discuss this privately, I suggest that Dr. Johns and I beam to the ship so we can confer as a crew.
She's not going anywhere around that ship without security detail next to her. She's still arrested.
God, I can hear him from all the way down there.
I'm next to you.
I'm up on the ship.
Oh, I thought.
No, but that's you in his mind. That's his conscience. The Vulcan on the shoulder.
Very well. Transporter bay, beam them directly to my ready room and have a security detail meet me there somewhere. There's probably some bods standing just off the bridge.
There'll be
wings,
bods
because
around.
there's always bods.
So are all the 25,000 people being put back down again then?
I assume so, if they're informed.
I was going to say, you just retract the ship.
No, we're beaming up. That was me beaming.
What, let them free fall back down?
Oh, I know. Yes,
More efficient.
we'll beam them all back down.
So the walls have stopped moving, and now they're moving in again. I'm going to the bridge.
Site-to-site transport.
Yes. Transport to the bridge.
It's probably safer with you. While the ship is in reconfiguration,
Yeah.
the corridors are not recommended to travel in some of the
No,
times.
no,
Just turbo
yes.
lifts.
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
turbo lift.
No, it's alright if you're in the turbo lift.
Yeah.
Just-
Well, no, it might.
One to transport
Used to be
to somewhere
okay.
that isn't here, please.
The ship does try to work around you, but it does make it more complicated.
I'll just transport, it's fine.
Fine. So yes. Why don't we have you all transporting to the? So you can have
We all beam in.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's sort of everyone at the end in the ready room.
Or beam straight into the seat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So before you
why
beam,
not?
do you like get down into a little
No, you
squat
say
position?
that, but you've seen people beamed out of sitting down situations, piloting a ship, and they just materialise standing up. And
Yeah, so why not?
Or sometimes they do it where they're in the same position. It depends on how they're feeling
Yeah.
when they make the episode. Because you
Yeah.
see some of them where they're like, whoa, and they like catch themselves.
yes, or the new ones where they were falling and they just go dump onto the transporter pad.
Yes.
I'm just like, well, they're falling a lot faster than that.
Yeah, but the transporter chief's got a sense
some
of
sort
whimsy.
inertia, yeah.
Well, no,
I'm going to slow down their inertia 80%. Just give them a little pat.
I assume there's an error bar because otherwise you go too far the other way and they kind of bug out. They go woo. And you feel even sillier at that point.
Yeah.
Because they were at least used to thinking they were going that way. And,
So, on the upside, I can confirm that the emergency evac configuration of medbay works.
That's good.
Mostly.
Mostly.
It's fine. It's fine. A few tweaks. It's fine.
Captain,
So
I
this is the
inform
first
you-
time I've met this Kardashian woman.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So.
We did that that to me when I first met him. Yeah.
good times.
It's the only logical thing to do until I'm sure.
Pinch everyone and go,
Just Cardassian.
oh, it's 2 hours until I'm on duty again.
The ship's just everyone out. Commander, Captain, I regret to inform you that the defence satellites are no longer operative. They had to be deactivated completely in order to stop the cascade. So the planet is, in effect, defenceless.
DM John's just
The
gone over
Enterprise,
to the nearest unoccupied computer panel and started doing
Who has?
the Kardashian.
The Cardassian moment.
Boom.
Doctor, I suggest just for a moment until we can engage our security protocols.
Yeah, definitely.
Operations. Begin active scans of the area. Make sure there are no incoming ships or indeed any residual energy signatures of cloaked vessels.
Also, while I'm here, is there any way that I can... I don't know if at the table I've got like a Lacar's display in the desk or something that I can type in. So anyway, I can...
So is this the ready room or is this like the briefing room?
Briefing room.
So is it like Enterprise style? So is it like the long table?
Yeah.
The weird curved text.
Is there like a touchscreen Lacar's display in the table?
I think
Probably.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more modern than just having a
So
wooden
I'm going
table.
to just put down some security protocols that she can't beam off the ship without my permission.
Sure.
Because
I mean, obviously the captain could
over
have but sure.
arresting, breaking the law.
And I could hack it.
But that's fine.
I was going to say, it's like, if all safeguards have been circumvented and she does beam out, it's straight to the brig.
That's where she's going to end up eventually anyway.
Yes, but if she
She's
manages
got no out.
if
She
she
has
manages to
broken the law.
override your security protocols and goes, hi, we'll beam out now, bye. Straight to the brig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll also be laying down some, like, giving her what does she need access to?
She needs access to a data stream external to the ship that's quite high bandwidth.
Okay, but that's it.
She'll say.
Okay, so she doesn't need like access to the ship's computer. or...
I do need some of your computer
Processing
capacity for
power.
analytics, but
Not the database.
No,
or,
so she'll be locked out of all that.
this looks like a holodeck though. In
It
the
is.
wall's moving slightly.
it's just like, this is a Morpheus class vessel.
At least we now know that she's not a hologram.
Yeah, this one isn't.
Yeah, but Nixias didn't seem to have heard much about the Morpheus class anyway. I think they're quite isolated here.
It's a partially holographic ship.
Oh right. Okay. Right.
It's reconfigurable.
Okay, I will put in the security protocols and then give her access to the computer.
Sure.
So the challenge is someone has accessed the system. You can't do it from inside where we've just been, which isn't being scanned by the system. That was my first thought. When we were down there, we weren't being scanned by the system, which is why I cut you off on the comms. Sorry, Captain. So we could talk about it without anyone listening, watching, or seeing anything we were doing. You can't access it from inside the data core without people knowing, because that is being scanned. There was no one in orbit at the time, but you could access it from orbit, as we're doing right now.
Is there not any other interface panel somewhere where it's not being scanned?
No, it's quite deliberately. Bounce should scan everywhere.
So now
Except for the...
Well, the satellites are a blind spot because no one really thinks about maintaining them personally.
Could there not be any access panel for the data core somewhere in one of those tubes? There are several dozen of them.
Thank you.
No, well, yes, there are several dozen, but they should all be being scanned. Any access to the geothermal plant or the main core. Look, we care a lot more about the core and the geothermal plant than we do really about the defence satellites. They're just things that we launch up. That's just why it was a blind spot that I could easily get to, do things with, and no one noticed. But equally, there's no real way of...
Could someone else not have done that?
Also, you can't get to the maintenance things without either going out on the surface, which would be noticed by the scans again, or by
Why can't we
transporting there, which again we would notice. And mostly the transporters are deactivating the same interference reason. Almost all the things are deactivated.
What about the core?
Well, now the satellite's been deactivated. Our only concerns now are finding
The thermal core.
No, what about
are
the
finding
core
the saboteur
itself?
Yes.
and stopping
Well,
the
within the scanning.
experiment.
No. Well, within the scanning. Well, is there anything?
Well, we can turn. She can now turn the
Have two
experiment off, which I
conversations.
think she's about to do. And yes, we need to find who has been capable.
So have you deactivated the experiment yet?
No. Not yet.
Well,
I had time.
It might also be the way of finding out who it was.
Captain, there's someone trying to communicate with us from the surface. To Zay?
Take it on the bridge. Excuse me.
I'm going to follow him out.
I leave through a door.
But you go out there and it's...
What? No, sorry, I've missed it. I'm not making...
Anyway, you go out there, it's audio only, Captain. And there's a voice comes up. Can I speak to whoever? DM ideally, or if not, someone else that knows about the computer system.
About what? She's currently busy.
Well, I think I might know what would have happened, but I need to sort of I talk to her really.
Can I help?
I don't know who.
Tovon here,
Oh.
science officer.
Right? Maybe.
I've been working with DM.
Well,
This is on screen on the bridge.
no, it's audio only.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably his room.
Because he's only got a lady shave.
Because yes, he probably was moving about the settlement or his room. I don't know. He just hasn't got a screen easily
Yeah.
available.
He hasn't got his trousers on.
Yeah, he was evacuating.
Is he? Sorry. Yeah, wrong kind. Anyway, carry on. Computer core.
Yes. Well, I was the one that put the holographic.
Yes, we know.
So, I think what happened was, although I don't know how really, some of the data seems to have been duplicated for her scans of her repeatedly, and it seems to have caused sort of an echo within the system
Right.
that got accidentally fed into the holographic generators, but they shouldn't have been displayed. Like I say, I'm sure I disconnected them, and not only that, but there's no way that should interface. I mean, our system is a bit, well,
I've seen
unique.
it. There's you've got quantum storage and various different types of power systems and all kinds of things feeding together in there. I'm not sure.
I don't know how it would feed back on itself, to be honest. So, are you in the room with her still?
And
Yeah.
I am still, I presume, because I haven't left.
She is not leaving my sight at the moment.
I did actually.
And the security guard that's escorting us probably there as well,
I
standing
did
in the
actually
corner.
want to say something to her as well.
Sure.
So, what if whoever or whatever did this came from within the core itself? What if there's a program or something down there?
Well, that's what I've considered, but there's no malign programs. Well, there shouldn't have been. I did. It would be fairly.
It's 40 years
Concerted
old and
sweep.
it's full of data. What if something you did woke one up?
But
I mean,
What if it has become self-aware?
That's what I was thinking, but she didn't like the idea earlier on.
so look here, and you're sort of pointing at the data. If you give me some sort of noticing computery things, Rob.
Noticing computery things.
science
Sure.
and intelligent reason?
Yep. Is that a relevant focus? You can help because you're there as well.
Okay. Is it control and security, maybe?
Yeah, could do.
I have empathy, psychiatry, surgery, diagnostics, genetics, and xenobiology, so I suspect no.
No. Do you have any
Unless it-
relevant foci?
Unless
You're
it counts
helping,
as
so you get one dice.
xenobiology.
No. Do you have any foci that helps?
Shipboard tactical systems.
No.
So,
Musical instrument, Telluride organ.
I haven't got around to asking where you keep your Telluride organ yet.
as
Don't give
the
me a
captain
description
is
of what it
having
looks
this
like.
conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking to the guy, I've been walking to the science station, and
No.
I would like to scan
Mhm.
her transfer beam
Okay.
like to see what's going on.
I have 2, and one is equal to the discipline.
Yeah, that's fine. That counts as
Oh, you mean the monitor, the two-way communications?
What she's doing.
3.
I have a 5 and a 3.
uplink. Oh, you
Okay.
want to
And my
watch
discipline is
her
3 for
Is it
science.
download
Yes,
or
but unless you have
upload?
a foci.
reload?
It only counts for 1.
Yeah, only counts
I
one.
was just checking. I didn't know whether it mattered or not. So I have 2.
Sideload.
Byload.
Quadrangle load.
How would you notice this? So, let's say you both notice it at the same time. There's...
I didn't actually.
I know, you didn't. I'm talking about you that's looking at the data and you
okay.
that's...
I haven't rolled. Do I need to roll?
No, I think we'll be fine.
3 successes.
Wonderful. So, you'll have seen that in the sort of the various data that she seems to be going through. Oh, you forgot your join thing. You could have had a relevant.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Could have had a relevant focus.
If you could think of one of your past, would any of your past things have?
Used a computer before.
Yes, they have all used computers before. None of them really are heavy technical, though. Rylap possibly was.
Who was Roland?
No, he was the architect, but probably not still that technical.
Okay,
He was
so
more-
Good old Rolak.
Yes, he was more graphics and things, I'd have thought, than programming architecture.
So, but basically, what you notice, and you can describe how you notice it, and tell everyone else that there's. It looks like about sort of a little bit before, someone did access that system and poked it in lots of subtle ways, but again, it was only for an extremely brief amount of time. But it was like a day before. It was like 6 hours after the
So,
system
sorry,
was
which
turned on.
system did they...
The holographic, this system, they seem to have basically poked this sort of this echo that seems to have occurred. Well, I think you probably don't know enough, really. Well, actually, maybe you do. There's this the holographic echo that occurred within the system of her scan. It seemed to have been naturally sort of natural redundancy in the information storage, basically. That was accidentally copied into like a holographic data stream area, so that it then sort of formed a holographic program out of her molecular structure. But it wasn't. It was just like basically a copy, like a transporter pattern, similar, equivalent. But someone seems to have gone in and sort of then attached a few commands to it and ideas. And caused it, if it was reactivated, to sort of try to react like she would in that situation. But it looks like it was done over a wide area. And you'll both notice this.
Over a wide... What do you mean over a wide...
Lots of little bits of the... It looks like because
So
the information
a
transfer...
distributed system
Because
across the
it was
whole
over such
colony.
Yeah, over the short period of time, it couldn't access. The bandwidth was too small to really do
So it
this.
did lots.
So it did it here. It did basically all of the inputs to the system, lots of
small,
different
so
places.
subtle that no one noticed it before.
And for that amount of success, it looks like it's almost spelling out like some sort of words, the locations that it's accessed in the order that it's done it
I presume
Okay.
she
in
will
less
see
than
that
10
as well.
microseconds. Well, when you pointed out, she wasn't.
Yeah,
actually,
what's that?
In Cardassian.
No, not in any known language. You can run it through the.
Prince Tovern.
Yes.
Can you either get up a display to
There's
see what
some
we're looking
weird
at or
things
get back
going
in
on
here?
the
There's
data.
something, yeah, it's been accessed.
I'm trying to...
Are you running it through the translator?
Yes, I'm trying to run it through the translator.
I'm going to have my hand on my phaser, just in case she's arrested the Enterprise.
Okay. There seems to just be completely stuff happening. It says, greetings. Nice ship, we'll see you soon.
What? I've literally said it out loud on the bridge.
Can we see that resolving
What?
on our...
Yeah, it's not that, it's a language that's never been discovered before, there's no reference for it, but the translator's really good.
Yeah.
Star Trek translators, they're
It finds
amazing.
patterns. There's 2 E's in there.
Captain, are you seeing this?
Captain, I put it on the main view screen.
And it's sort of an outline of the
colony.
and there's lots of access. It's all with like the time scale only comes like...
I slow it. What I do is it fires really quickly, and then I slow it down and slow it down and slow it down and slow it down and slow it down, and then I do it across the time frame, and it spells out the word.
He's simplifying it.
And then it translates.
And there's
Isn't that
no.
nice?
No, I'm capturing it in one flash across the
That's not a person, Captain. That's something in the machine. Something.
the
in
distributed systems of the colony have become.
No, sorry. No, it's been accessed
It's
by
been accessed somewhere else.
externally, and between.
Ah,
It's been accessed, and it's from like a ship that was never on the
ship.
scanners.
yeah. Okay, so it is someone in
Something's
orbit.
been here. So.
Someone has accessed it, prodded the system from afar, and it's created this echo.
But if you look
and
through,
left a message.
you look through the scans of the whole Lacuna, sorry, the whole nebula, the whole area. There's no ships. There's nothing appears
Sure.
at all.
Shields up, Captain.
And this is one of the greatest. This is one of the centres of scanning technology.
Oh dear. What?
She's echoing this.
But this
They have
this message is not hostile. Greetings. Nice ship. We'll see you soon.
Trying to blow up putting a colony in risk is hostile, though.
Yes, but that's incongruous. The two things don't match. Why would they be? This
Has
is.
she shut down the experiment
It's
yet?
a test if we could solve it and find it. But
I was mentioned it for a few minutes.
It was
She's
accessed
busy.
from
Can
all
you
She's
the-
still
somewhat
gathering data.
blown by this as well. Yeah, knocked down by this as well.
Can you
Can
please shut
we,
down the experiment?
Oh, sure.
We'll get the ship scanners. Try and triangulate any energy signatures pass through the dome to access these consoles in line with any residual energy signatures that may have passed through the nebula of any kind.
This couldn't have been done from outside the nebula, unless someone had.
No, it bounces the
Vast-
signals out.
Exactly, unless someone had a level of technology beyond anything else, and they wouldn't be doing this.
And then have done this in 10 microseconds.
And also, in the nicest way possible, I very much doubt they meant that old Cardassian hunk of junk out there.
You can
This
look through the
message
space scans to see
is
if you
for
can
us.
see anything. There might be something there.
But
Almost
we
looks like
could know
difficulty
how many
5.
people
I'll
knew
have a
we were
look.
coming here.
Uh,
In fact, more than a week before the experiment went live, how many people knew we were coming?
Starfleet Command.
Does someone want to roll for the ship? Because the ship.
I am Captain. I'm going to scan the local area to see if there's anything.
This is more going through the space scans.
Oh,
Of
the previous one.
Because there's nothing
and the
obvious
ones that it's got. Okay, right. Okay.
But there might be
Okay.
something in
Is there any momentum that I can spend?
No.
No. I'll take a point of threat.
Do we still need her?
Keep her here.
Remember what this
For a
is?
while.
Well, you have if you look at your talenty thing, you have a command thing you could do with that. I think.
And I mean, strictly
Your
speaking,
talent summaries
Professor
in your
Benexi is the
characters
planetary governor, so it's
From what I remember, the
probably
captain
up to
can
her.
do a thing with determination
she's
by giving it to
broken.
someone else, basically.
Whenever you attempt a
Well,
task
ask the
assisted by the
captain
ship's
when
computers or
done,
sensors, you
But
may
the law's
re-roll
law.
1d20.
Yes, but it's normal for a colony
Roll
governor
ability.
to enforce it.
Commanding officer. The commanding officer may spend a point of
No, we're
determination
Starfleet officers.
to grant
We have
any
the right
other
to
character they
Let's do
communicate
this first.
with 1 point of determination. This does not have to be linked to a value.
So, in essence, you could give him a determination for this role.
And
By
then
spending
I could
yours.
say,
Does
use
not-
a value to do
Does
it?
not have to be linked to a value.
Oh,
Well, no, your spending doesn't. His does.
Oh,
well, the two that could work are all ideas must withstand scrutiny or no price is too high for truth.
I think
The
no
others-
price is tied for the truth is relevant to this.
Yes.
okay.
I am also constantly watching.
Right.
So when you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
Sure. So it's 4.
Okay,
So you
and we'll
spend-
spend that.
Can I assist?
So that gives me an extra die.
Sure, one person can.
Yeah?
I'll roll for the ship anyway.
Can I assist with a control security roll?
No.
No.
It's
hang on.
sensors.
No, yeah, but no.
I'm
not
going
on
to take
this
a
one.
point of threat for a die.
2.
Oh, yes, because
Because
of
you've
that
already
one.
pointed the determination one.
I'll leave it then.
Okay.
Um,
You're going to help.
I have
One other
science.
person
I
can
have
Do
science.
sciencey person.
Yeah,
Sure.
science might be better in this case.
I'd say
Okay.
it's definitely not a very sciencey roll.
I
So
roll
one
one
dice
when
for
I'm
all
helping, don't
con?
I?
Hmm?
And one when I'm helping.
You roll one when you're helping.
Okay, just something to bear in mind. If I succeed, assisted by the ship's computers and sensors, I generate an additional momentum, which may only be used on the obtain information momentum spend. So if we
Right.
succeed.
So, yeah, difficulty 4. Pass.
Yes, helped.
With 1.
2, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8.
Boom.
Okay. So,
I like my science. Oh, actually, should I reroll that 17? No. And I generate another momentum.
So is that 2 momentum?
no, because it was 4 difficulty.
It was
so
4
it's-
difficulty.
So it's
3.
5. You got 8 in the end, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I got 8, so 5 momentum.
But one can only be spent on
You can only go up to 6. So.
obtaining.
Yeah, one of them has to be spent on
obtain
obtain information. But yes.
Okay, so what you notice when you're going through the scan is only sort of... It's very brief on one of the like random passive...
I'm showing off, by the way. I am deliberately doing this in full holographic mode, and I'm compiling and getting scans and overlaying them, and yeah, all that stuff.
Nice.
I'm taking the opportunity.
Minority Report.
So yeah, you're going through like 3 different scans, like a subspace one and like some sort of very old style like gravimetric one. And it looks like something. It's not in subspace, so it's not at warp, but appears to have entered the nebula, taken about 2 microseconds to head across the entire Ballistus planetoid. Remember, it took you like a few hours. Like even at top impulse, it would take like an hour.
Yeah.
It's going. It looks like it's going at faster than light speeds, but it's not. It's doing it in
it's
this
not a
universe.
warp. Oh.
And it's not in subspace. It's not in the warp or anything.
Okay.
So it's breaking the laws of physics. Yeah. And you can't really get the... Well, that's all you get for until you spend the momentum for your questions.
Well,
I reckon we should.
okay. One I have to spend on obtain information.
Yes.
Yeah, and what the hell is not really a formulated question, is it? So
Yeah.
What is it?
Does it have? Is it like a? Is it a ship?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that one question? Does it have a recognisable configuration?
No, it doesn't look like any ship you've seen. It looks... Yeah, you don't really get a good shape on it. As much as you try to resolve it, it looks kind of unusually asymmetrical. Not like a Breen ship. Like it looks almost...
Peroid.
Like a giant space octopus. It looks like it's got loads of twisty things coming off of like a central hub.
is it like in the same sort of orders of
But it's
magnitude?
kind of blurry, I'm talking.
Oh, yeah,
It's only got
sure,
a rough
yeah.
outline.
But is it in the sort of same kind of orders of magnitudes as our ship?
Yeah.
Or is it 2 nanometers across or 2
Yeah, I'd
kilometers?
say
It's
that's
a
one question.
similar size to the. So the kind of what does it look like is really the question. So it's kind of same size as our ship on standard configuration with some projecting
bit
behind or
smaller.
like all around.
Sort of different angles.
Okay, just random.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it purple and black?
You don't get colours. So that's one of the questions.
Yeah.
How many you've got left? But
Okay.
4 left.
Okay.
this will be the last thing of the game.
Yeah, sure.
The mission, so it will go away anyway. So feel free to spend it all on this.
So it passed within 2 seconds, microseconds.
Across this
10
whole
to the minus
expanse.
6 of a second.
Boom, boom, across.
Yeah.
Can I see where it went out?
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
followed the same
Where
route,
did
basically.
it go?
Yeah, where did it go?
It basically seems to have come in, hung there for 3 or 4 microseconds, and then headed straight back out.
Whoa, it hung there for 3, and it did all of that in 3 or 4 microseconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it did all that stuff.
So, it came in,
Mhm.
decelerated, and then accelerated.
It's ignoring inertia. It's not. It's breaking laws of physics. It's
It crossed a space.
Because it's
between
going
and
faster than light speed in no way that you know going faster than light speed in light.
okay. Well,
You don't have to use ask all the questions.
no, because I'm not sure we're going to get much more information.
Well, I was hoping.
Curious.
I was hoping this was just the fact that I really haven't brushed up on sort of space physics enough recently. But your expression suggests this isn't.
Where did it come from?
Well, just
This isn't right.
This is breaking. Look, can I kind of, from what we have of the nebula,
Mhm.
kind of do here's a dotted line. Like, came in here,
Mhm.
2 microseconds, stopped, 3 microseconds, out here.
Yes.
In that time it stopped there, it did all the stuff it did on the planet,
Yes.
and it's gone. It's breaking the laws of physics.
Okay.
It's denying inertia. This is there is nothing. No Vija, no nothing, no Borg, no founders, no nothing. This is not. This is Q, kind of thing.
it is that sort of level of. Well, maybe not quite.
Well, if
Approaching.
Yeah.
theoretically, if you created a chronoton infused warp field, you would be outside. You could manipulate time within your own warp field and travel faster within that field than
But it's not
the rest.
in warp.
Than the rest of the universe. You don't need to walk. You don't necessarily need to be travelling at walk.
I would say this is that's another momentum.
Yeah.
There is a hint of chronoton particles in this scan.
There is.
Time travel.
Everything
More
it is
than you
doing.
expect.
It
It is manipulating time.
It is
as well
doing.
as
It
space.
is doing things at its own normal speed.
Yes, but to us it looks like an accelerated
Yes.
pace. So if I were to try it, so does it look like it's slowed down just very rapidly?
Yeah.
So it had a similar curve. It was just steeper to a normal ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you stretch it out, it probably could look like a normal. Maybe. I mean, the information's a bit too sketchy. It could be moving
So-
faster and quicker than yours, but
Roughly.
yeah. But
Well,
it's
I
probably the same order of
suppose-
magnitude of your deceleration.
So there is some sort of time component here.
And I suppose from the message, at least it looks like maybe we'll get another opportunity to learn more about them.
Yes.
Just potentially a very brief one.
Can we track it?
Not once it leaves the
But
loader.
it says nice ship. See you soon.
Yeah. They didn't mean the Cardassian hunker junk down there, did they?
But this was also done.
When was this done?
Well, it's been what?
A week before the article
Yeah, I
went
was gonna...
online.
No, this was all done.
A day and a half ago. It was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a day and a half.
1.75 days ago.
A while ago.
Yeah.
Well,
6 hours
So it's-
after the experiment started, this was done.
Yeah.
But it's got
And
to
then
be us.
after that, there was the manipulation.
And then when did we get called here? When were we going on our mission?
Oh, way before that, because this was a planned celebration that this would turn
So
on.
we were already on our way.
So there was information that we were coming here.
Yes.
So someone's trying to get our
I mean,
attention.
it was through secure Starfleet channels, so it shouldn't be.
Yeah, but if someone can do time travel, then
They can probably get
or
into secure
time
stuff.
compression.
Yeah.
They can probably get into secure Starfleet channels.
Okay, this is slightly concerning, and Captain, I probably don't need to tell you that you need to put this in your report.
Well, this is a worry, isn't it, sir?
Evidence of time manipulation is what directive? It's not the prime one, is it? There's a temporal directive, isn't there?
There's temporal prime directive, but that's only to interfere with not to interfere with the existing timelines or the past and the future.
We don't know if this could have an impact. If these people are able to manipulate time, who knows they are...
We are not the ones doing the time travel, therefore the temporal prime directive does not apply.
To us.
Yes,
And
but
they might
someone
not have heard of it.
is doing it. So I'm sure...
I suspect that someone's
Starfleet
not
will want to
heard
know.
of the temporal prime directive.
I now have a new obsession as a science officer.
Well, this is interesting. So.
Temporal mechanic.
Temporal mechanics. Yeah. And I think I'm going to...
I was going to say...
As part of my next time, I'm going to change reverse engineering to temporal mechanics.
Fair enough.
No!
Right.
Reverse temporal engineering.
Yeah.
Right, well, on the upside, the colony is safe.
Yes, it is.
Big Xenia will thank you a lot. There's lots of kind things. She says that she doesn't want to press charges against anyone. It's all understandable scientific hijinks to a certain extent. But, if
Still going in the report.
But if you want to take them away, then yes, you can. But they are, well, mostly Cardassian citizens, so that's up to you.
Yeah.
Is she a Kardashian citizen or is she a Federation?
No,
The DM John is
Uh,
a Cardassian citizen, as
yeah.
is
Yes.
all the other people you've
Quite
arrested.
like
Yes.
I don't
Almost looks like you've got some sort of
vendetta.
planetary governance.
No, they broke the law.
They did, yeah.
Then they go over to Federation security and it's their problem.
Okay.
Including Science Lady.
Sure.
Don't
Science
colony
lady.
governance
I assume you're taking the
normally
Tellarite,
have
though.
some sort of say.
Tazay.
She's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
She can't arrest anyone. That would be like getting a prime minister to arrest
Oh,
someone.
no,
But
no,
she
not like to arrest
can-
anyone, but
she
don't-
doesn't want to
Militia
press
or
charges.
flunky, the science
Yeah.
police.
Yeah, I was going to say, they have sort of security personnel that don't
Yeah.
tend to get called up very much. They normally do other things, probably like repairing and stuff. But anyway,
Yeah.
It's not really our problem.
Because Federation
We'll
colony,
arrest
haven't they?
them and hand them over to Federation security and
And I
let them
suppose if
deal
they
with
send
it.
them back, we can't do anything about it. Can
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Can we search their data core for any detected chronoton fields anywhere within the vicinity of...
Or if they've done any advances in chronoton detection, like in the past, you know, or that kind of, or the future. And also, I'm going to ask them for a full download of all of their data about this whole period of time, so I can review everything.
It's a significant amount for your database to take because it was when Penupscon was on, which is a lot of data. But yeah,
I'm going to clear out. I'm going to be like, those 12,000 people who sat in their homes watching
Us, mostly.
EastEnders or whatever.
Everybody's breakfast. We don't need.
Yeah.
We do not need the molecular structure of everybody's breakfast.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Sure, you can get some of the data, and stuff later. But yeah, I think unless anyone has any extra questions for that, we'll move on to the next mission.
Yeah.
Like I say, she'll
We're
thank you
staring at the
significantly, and
No, I don't think.
they're not going to turn on Penulpskin again right now. They need to discuss it a bit more, probably.
Yes.
And what they're going to do with the data they currently have, if it's going to be deleted, if they,
Luckily, that is somebody else's problem.
But there's lots of questions, but yeah, they're not deciding that right now because
No.
they're going to pass that to committee.
I don't want to lose the 3 momentum. We've got 3 momentum. Quick, spend it.
It's okay, I've got 5 threat, so I'll get more next time.
6
but-
threat.
Sorry, yeah, 6 threat.
Can we use momentum to get rid of threat?
It doesn't matter because it resets at the beginning of missions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll start with 0 and I'll start with 8.
See, that's actually not that much. I was worried, but it went down to 3 because you spent some, didn't it? So I was like, oh, I don't want to add more. Oh no, hang on, we started with 8. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm kind of hoping we can leave the nebula and then track this thing.
Okay. You can't, but yeah.
that's right. I've got all the data.
Unfortunately,
I have a
don't
feeling
manage it.
they may be tracking us.
But you can report it with to
This isn't the
Starfleet, and they'll
last
say,
we've
"Oh, well,
seen.
that's interesting." If you don't see anything obvious, though, you can spend a couple of days trying to find any signs of them after they've left. But the whole dimorphosing changing outside of it seems to have.
Any other similar incidences reported by any other starships in the fleet to Starfleet Command?
Okay, well, you get a report about that
And we
later.
presume the ship throws up no matches in anyone's database anyway.
Again, it's a vague outline. It could, and it's kind of
It's too difficult to actually make out any kind of.
it's a very blurry photo basically. So you can go,
Yeah.
looks humanoid, but that's basically.
We can
what
watch
they
the
couldn't have-
blurry photos of other people's things that they've detected and never knew
This is
anything
going to
about.
be like, right, we've got a photo of Nettie. Let's flip it.
Let's see how many other people.
They'll be like, oh
have got.
god, they're talking about the space octopus, are they?
Talk about space octopus again.
Cool. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh,
Really
yes,
enjoyed
you
that.
did. Sorry, it's a TV show. You
Yeah.
say goodbye.
Hey.
Oh yes.
Thanks. Yeah, we all got into that. Thanks very much for watching episode
2.
well done, Dan, of Star Trek Morpheus, our Star Trek Adventures actual play series. Please don't forget to check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go and check out our Discord. Check out our Redbubble, Drive Through RPG stuff, and please go and check out the Patreon. Please consider supporting the show. Everyone who helps us to make it a bit better for everybody else with all the kit and gear and equipment and all the games we play. So
We have new lights. You can't see them, but they're very pretty.
yes. Well, I'm still working on this current configuration of the studio, so things are a bit weird for a little bit.
Yes,
We'll
I'm sorry for
get it all
the
sorted
here.
out. That's okay. Don't worry. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for more Star Trek Morpheus.
Indeed.
Bye bye.